wait is over. The wait is over.
Coming to you on Berlin time.
It is the summer of Stiller.
Summer of Stiller.
Summer of Stiller. Summer of Stiller. Summer of Stiller. Summer of Stiller. Gonna be Stiller. Gonna be Stiller. Benjamin Stiller. Benjamin Stiller.
Stiller, yeah, I'm debating. Is it Series of Stiller? Is it Tone Master? You know,
Up to you, bro.
We'll see.
We've been billing it as Tone Master for like half a year.
I know. And for those who don't know why it's called Tone, why I want to call it, when I originally wanted to call it Tone Master, here's the clip from Tower Heist 2011.
Good morning. Josh, Charlie, Enrique. How you doing?
How was your Labor Day party this year, Mr. Shaw? Must have been something, huh? Would you serve crab legs, surf and turf?
Josh, I've always tried to extend you a certain courtesy, but this tone you're using...
What tone? Who gives a shit about my tone? What are you, some kind of tone master?
No, nobody touches this car but me. You think Steve McQueen's the coolest cat that ever lived? Well, guess what? Today, Steve McQueen is my little bitch. Ah! Ah! Ooh! Ah! Oh! Whoops!
Great scene, great moment, great Ben Stiller quote. As you can see, it was my first idea when I heard and had the idea that we would do a serious tier episode. But then again, we've been doing the S thing, you know. Even for Blue Steel of Stiller, I put the blue in parentheses. You know, we have the iconic Spilled Stiller episodes with like 20 words in the title, all S words, you know. I mean, we don't want to ruin the streak either, so I guess we'll have to see. But yeah, guys, welcome back to Filmatic. Caught us in the middle of a little discussion there. And welcome to the series of Stiller, where we will be discussing Greenberg, aka Joker.
True.
So Greenberg, Secret Life of Walter Mitty, and the Meyerowitz stories, new and selected. Yeah.
In the movie, the wife, Dustin Hoffman's wife, pronounced it like, I think like Meyerowitz or something. Similar to that.
I didn't catch that.
And very briefly in passing. But then I was like, oh, I guess that's how it's pronounced. But then like later, I think I heard one of the actual Jewish characters, like, actually, she might be supposed to be Jewish. I just know she's British in real life, I think.
Yeah, she is.
But I think I heard like Dustin Hoffman or someone like say Meyerowitz, which is what I thought it was.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But also, if it is like a German name, I guess that is... It would make
correct.
sense.
Yeah.
It's probably just I don't know. Dude, I don't know.
It's just one of those things, I guess. But yeah, so we're going to discuss those. Before we get into it, you know, of course, I'm back with Justin. Justin, our last episode, we discussed Zoolander, the last episode we did.
Was that after The Watch?
Oh, no,
Tropic
sorry, my
Thunder?
bad. Yeah, we did Tropic Thunder and The Watch.
Was that okay? That was the most recent one.
That was the most recent one.
They're all Summer of Stillers blending together.
Yeah, they really are. But it's coming to a close soon because
Which is crazy.
Our next episode, the biggest episode yet, the season finale, where we're discussing the Madagascar franchise, Elmo's Christmas Countdown, and Megamind. Keep in mind, when I say franchise, guys, if you're new here, you remember the Shrek franchise episode? First of all, it's a great episode, possibly the episode I'm most proud of. So I would say definitely check it out. It's definitely up there. But for those who don't remember / never listened to that one, we did Shrek 1, Shrek 2, Shrek 3, Shrek 4. And I know what you're thinking. Okay, that's a lot. That's all the Shreks. What more could there be? Well, we also did, you know, there's shorts in between. There's shorts that dropped on the DVD, shorts that dropped on live TV. So there was Shrek the Halls, which was a Christmas special. There was Scared Shitless, which was...
Imagine if it was actually fucking publicly released as that.
No, it's actually called Scared Shrekless. We just, for some reason, started calling it Scared Shitless. The reason why is probably in that episode. Go check it out. we did those. We watched all these behind the scenes videos, and we were already so obsessed with Shrek from youth. So that's the reason I think it's one of our best episodes. Is we came into it like there's no. First of all, we didn't go off topic like once. I think I'm pretty sure for the entire it was like almost 4 hours. I think it was the longest Filmatic episode up until the Batman one.
Longest solo or
longest,
one-on-one.
Yeah, longest one-on-one. And we did not go off topic of Shrek for literally the entire 4 hours.
Yeah, it was absurd.
Which is crazy for us.
I mean, it was one of the earlier ones, I think. So it was easier, I guess, for us to. We're back when we had so much passion and motivation.
Yeah. And time.
It was COVID tier.
It was COVID tier. We watched all of them day by day, which is I don't know. I'd want to redo that for the Madagascar one. It's just going to be so hard,
It is going to be hard, but
hopefully we can get at least the big stuff,
Yeah, I feel like we should be able to.
Yeah. Oh, we also I just remembered we also watched Shrek the Musical. That was a ride.
True.
That was when
that was absurd. That was the longest one, dude. It was like 2.5 hours minimum.
Yeah, and I would not have enjoyed it if we had not watched it together, which is
true.
I'm really glad we did.
It makes you think if any of our Summer of Stiller ratings might have changed had we watched all of them together.
No, I have thought about that, and it is interesting to think about, but
I wonder if Greenberg would have a higher score if we were.
I will say
not that I'm implying it'll have a low score.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say like I guess we could just launch. This is a good segue because Greenberg is the first movie because it did come out in 2010. So just generally out of the gate, I want to say when I first watched Greenberg, normally 99% of the time I'm able to watch all the movies in one sitting. Greenberg, I got busy with something came up, so I had to stop like let's say about halfway. Let's just say halfway through, and after watching it halfway through. Just my kind of like subconscious thoughts about it were like, okay, this guy's a fucking freak, like I didn't really, the pacing felt a little, I was like, oh, she's into him. Like, A, she's into him. That's crazy. B,
it is crazy.
B, it felt kind of quick, I will say now that I've finished the movie and I have had time to think about it, I think it is better than my initial impressions were because I just kind of thinking about, which we'll get into like the themes and stuff, but I just want to put that out there when we make these jokes about Greenberg. I don't think it was a bad movie. Just out the gate, I want to say that. But yeah.
Do we want to just start with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, Greenberg came out in 2010. It's the earliest of these movies, of course, to go in chronological order. Also crazy because we're finally getting into modern Stiller. I know we had Zoolander too, but I mean, Meyerowitz Stories is the most recent Stiller movie that we have watched.
It's true.
Which is interesting. Although before we get into the movies, a new piece of Stiller content did drop yesterday at the time of this recording. And I posted it on Filmatic story on Instagram. People should check it out, especially if you're a fan of God of War. I mean, I told this to Justin, but I literally felt like I was dreaming. Like, it would totally be like dream tier for me to be like, yeah, I had a dream where Ben Stiller played Kratos in God of War. Like, it's just so absurd. And when I was just scrolling on my, social media yesterday morning, and came across that cover image of Ben Stiller dressed up as Kratos, I was like, this is crazy. A, because it's just an absurd concept. And B, because Ben Stiller hasn't been on the screen on any screen, big screen or little, as far as I'm aware. And at least...
He was on my little screen the other day when I was watching the movie.
Yes. But you know what I mean? He hasn't done anything new in a while where he's been on the screen. He's been directing, as we know, Severance, the new TV show. Apparently it's really good. I want to check that out eventually. Maybe that could be a Sabbath of Stiller thing. I've
never heard of it.
It's been getting a lot of buzz online and won a few awards.
What is it?
It's a TV series. It's on Apple TV Plus. The basic concept is, and I think there's a lot of like I know a few things that are probably spoilers, but I think the basic premise, like the pitch would be that it's like a near future dystopian society, but more modern than future. And concept is, uh, when you go into work at this specific place, they activate a chip in your brain where you don't remember anything from your outside life. So you're only focused on work. So it's like to increase productivity. And then when you leave work, they like flip the switch back and you go to your outside life and you don't remember anything about where you work, what you do, anything like that. So it's like a complete like separation between like work life and personal life.
It's
And
kind of
then of
fucked up.
course there's like questions about, well, what's going on in there? Why are they doing this? You know, blah 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 blah. Apparently it's
It's
really
like Jeff
good.
Bezos, Black Mirror.
There you go. What? Jeff Bezos Black Mirror.
Yeah,
I haven't seen Black Mirror. If you're
really.
no, I have not. I've I've heard about the more famous episodes, but I've never actually watched it.
Thematically, that sounds like it could easily be a Black Mirror episode.
It's fair. That's fair. But this one is produced and partially / mostly directed by Ben Stiller. So
That's crazy.
yeah,
It's about time he does some science fiction.
for real, for real. Although he has done
Closest we got was The Watch.
the Watch. That's what I was gonna say. All right. What's that? Who's that boy toy? What's his Toy Story?
Go check
Guys,
out The Watch.
please check out The Watch. It's so underappreciated.
It is.
Again, I feel like most people don't even know it exists. I didn't know it existed. Like, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
I was not a fan the first time I watched back in like 9th grade.
I could.
So I'm
say,
glad I gave it a second
that's
chance.
fair. I mean, it definitely might not be everyone's cup of tea because I think it has. I mean, we talked about this. I don't want to jump into it, but basically, I feel like it has like one specific type of comedy. So it's like, and really like leans into it and hammers it in with that improv
Yeah.
sort of Ben Stiller thing. So if you like it, you're gonna love it and think it's a nice fun movie. If you don't like it, you're probably not gonna enjoy it because the plot really is like a little lackluster, you know.
Yeah.
But if you like Ben Stiller and you're watching Summer of Stiller, I mean, why not check it out, you know? All right. And with that little intro, we will finally jump into Greenberg. All right. Greenberg, like I said, came out in
Noah Baumbach.
yeah, it came out in 2010, directed by Noah Baumbach, most recently known for Marriage Story. And I know that a lot of people talked about that. I know that we have a lot of friends who I've heard talk about Noah Baumbach over the years. Specifically, Casey would be the biggest one, I guess. And I was always like, oh, I want to check more of his stuff out. I saw Marriage Story. I want to say, wait, first of all, have you seen Marriage Story?
Yes.
Okay. What were your like just general like positive or negative? Like, how'd you feel about Marriage Story?
Thought it was overrated.
Agree.
But
I'm glad we agree.
I mean, I liked it, but everyone was saying it was like the greatest movie of the year.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I'm like, what are you talking, bro?
Dude.
It's literally just a movie. I mean, it's good. The performances were good.
Oh no, it's a good movie. It's not like a bad movie. It's just it was so overhyped on the way in for me. That I was like, I don't know. I really did not. Yeah.
No, yeah, I know. Yeah.
I am.
Okay, this was me. I was like, okay, I've seen the first two of the sequel trilogy Star Wars movies.
Right.
I haven't seen the third one. I saw the first two, and I was like, actually, I don't know when the fucking second one came out. Point is, before I saw Marriage
2017.
Story, Kylo Ren was the only thing I'd seen Adam Driver in.
True.
Hold up. Marriage
He was
Story came out 2019.
Last Jedi was
Okay.
2017.
That's not true. I saw BlacKkKlansman, and
True.
I was like, dude, Kylo Ren has just entered the big leagues because his performance in that movie was insane.
It was insane.
BlacKkKlansman was awesome. Let me just say, watching that
Great
movie got me so hyped
Okay.
to watch Defy Bloods, which was
Yes.
so boring.
Okay, I disagree with you there, But
Dude, I did not like Defy. Okay, it was fine. It was okay, but
That's fair.
seriously disappointing because BlacKkKlansman was like potentially 10 out of 10.
no, I understand and more so agree with that. But it's an interesting phenomenon between it's interesting you brought those two movies up, BlacKkKlansman and Marriage Story, because I feel like, and I know based on what you just said, we both agree with this point, which is it seems like their expectations for those movies from the public eye and the reality of them was flipped. You know what I mean? Because
Really?
at
I
least
did not know the
at least in my experience, right?
expectations.
At least in my experience with people we've talked to and what little I read online, right? Because Marriage Story was being heralded as this, and I don't know, this might be a hot take. I don't know if a lot of people still feel this way, but being heralded as like best movie of the year, one of the best. Unironically, I heard one of the best movies ever being thrown around. Whereas BlacKkKlansman, I heard was underwhelming and just like okay. And I feel like, not saying that BlacKkKlansman was one of the best movies ever, but I feel like it felt energy felt a little opposite because like you, when I saw BlacKkKlansman, I was like, this is a great movie. This is awesome. And I can't wait to rewatch this. Whereas when I saw Marriage Story, I was like, it was okay. I like the performances. I'm just not really like feeling it as like in mind blowing movie, you know? So it's interesting. And I know that might not be a popular opinion, but
Yeah, I mean, we're just full of unpopular opinions, huh?
we really are. We
Yo,
really are.
The Watch is awesome. Museum 2 is awesome.
Marriage Story
guys-
sucked. We sound like fucking losers.
Yeah. Well, listen. I will say, before skip ahead the entire fucking episode, but
Yeah.
Meyerowitz Stories was way better than Marriage Story. in my
Oh,
opinion.
easily, like 3 times better than Marriage
But-
Story.
3 times it also had 3 times as many storylines.
That's
Just kidding. But unironically, yeah. But he also is aging as a director, right? He's like,
True. Learning, you know,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
Which also
is evident
is
from
like-
Greenberg to this.
I was about to say is
Yeah.
evident from Greenberg itself, right?
Yeah.
And the funny part is, Marriage Story came out after Meyerowitz Story, so that statement I just made is completely just negligent, or negligible. My bad. The point is, maybe he took a step back. You know, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Who can say?
Maybe
I haven't seen a lot of his stuff. I've seen those 2.
I think the other big one is The Squid and the Whale.
Right, which my parents had on DVDs when I was a little kid, and I really wanted to watch it because the name. I loved animals, and I'm like, dude, it sounds badass.
A long King Polly moment.
Yeah, exactly. Literally identical situation. But I was like, yeah, I want to check this out, and it's just like some random ass movie about like people getting divorced. And I'm like, oh, this movie looks boring as hell. I actually don't want to watch it. So I never did, and then my parents gave it to Goodwill, so I never actually got to watch it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But it's on my list. It is on my list.
It's on the list, the ever-growing list.
Don't even give me... It's like Dr. Dean's to-read pile.
Wonder what Dr. Dean's up to, you know?
Apparently going to the Ringling with Lane. Yeah.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I guess we can talk about that later.
5 minutes later.
On his dime.
That's a good point.
This is not the forum for us to be having this conversation.
Yeah. It's funny though. All right.
It is funny.
And
what would be funny is hold on before you restart. Just a segment. It's like a promo. It's just like literally like a full like 4 minutes, and it's just every other word is censored because it's just this entire conversation, and like you can hear like normal words where like and the but he just like constantly.
That would be a funny promo. Maybe we'll have to do it. Maybe it's happening right now.
True, maybe it wouldn't it.
And
if you're watching in the future, make sure to go back and check out the playlist to see the next podcast that we've already recorded, the Madagascar episode.
Click right here on your screen, right here. It's good.
Make sure to hit your bell icon. It actually, did you know only 0.1% of our viewers are actually subscribed to Filmatic on YouTube? So it's free. You can undo it if you change your mind later. Just click subscribe, like the video. It really helps us out a lot.
Yeah. It costs you nothing and it gives us everything, So.
We're trying to beat the algorithm just like you, okay? Help us out. Would you throw a guy a bone?
For real. You want to see the physical embodiment of throw a guy a bone?
Oh, you haven't mailed that out yet to our lucky listener?
No, I haven't. It's at this point, it's like a part of me, It's like
listener.
Oh no, I'm scared that someone they'll watch it and wait. Come on, guys.
Anyway, so 25 minutes in, you want to talk about Greenberg?
Yeah. Let's talk about Greenberg. 2010. It's 2010. All right, Noah Baumbach. He's fresh off Squid and the Whale. All right, and he makes this film starring Ben Stiller, Greta Gerwig, who's gone on to direct some big movies, some big names in indie movies.
That's true.
Rhys Ifans. I never know how to say his name, but he's in this too. He plays the lizard in the Amazing Spider-Man. And then Brie Larson, of course, who goes on to be in many big movies.
Jennifer Jason Leigh, who co-wrote the movie / co-created with Noah Baumbach.
Very true, very true. She was great in Hateful Eight.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
True. And
season 3.
Yeah, and although the film received many positive reviews, generally, it was a box office bomb. It had a budget of $25 million and only made $7 million. And it's interesting. Just on that token, I went on Reddit after I watched Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Sometimes I do this where I'm like, I wonder if what people have said about this on like the movie subreddit. So I go on the movie subreddit and I search like Ben Stiller or Secret Life of Walter Mitty or Greenberg, and I found a lot of posts from when this came out in 2010. Posts on Reddit from 2010 of people like mad that Greenberg was in theaters. Of people who like people who were like, Ben Stiller in an indie movie, it's about nothing, it's so boring, I walked out of this movie. Like people were like,
about nothing. It's a show about nothing.
It's a show about nothing. I don't know, maybe it's just there was a higher concentration of fucking freak redditors in 2010, but
true, probably true, unironically,
definitely
but
true.
It was an interesting role to see Ben Stiller in.
It was, and he, for what it's worth, did bring his all to the role. I feel like he really sells. He sells that he's a freak, a freak of nature.
I literally was not expecting that from this movie whatsoever.
I was not either, even from like the posters and stuff I had seen.
And he's like a smiling guy, just like chilling on the cover. I thought it was literally going to be like a slightly less funny Ben Stiller rom-com.
Exactly, that's what I thought too.
But there's a reason we call it Serious of Stiller for a reason.
Oh yeah,
there's a reason for a reason.
Oh yeah, so we start the movie. We're introduced to Greta Gerwig's character Florence. Okay, she's a personal assistant to the Greenbergs, who live in this is Hollywood Hills. Now the family is going to go on a trip to Vietnam. Meanwhile, the Greenberg father, his name is Philip Greenberg, his brother Roger Greenberg is going to come to the house to build a doghouse and house sit, I guess. And
fresh off a stint in the
mental hospital, but he doesn't let that define him. Don't let that define him. Which is, I know, it's a fair sentiment. But anyway, so you have these conflicting characters. Greenberg, Florence, who again is an assistant. She lives I don't know how to describe it. She's, how would you describe Florence's life before meeting Greenberg? She's definitely not well off. You know, she has to work for this
No.
fucking rich family. You know, she lives in LA,
She
which
lives
must
like
suck.
a young college graduate. Not like immediately out of college, but a few years.
I think she says, she says
She
it's been like,
said
yeah,
she said it's been the same amount of time she was in college since she graduated, which I guess is an implication that she's been graduated for about 4 years. But anyway,
yeah. So she's like 26, 27, something like that.
oh, it does say, he says it later in the movie. I think it is like 25 or 6.
Oh, true. Yeah, when he's yelling at her. Yeah.
And he says something about him being 28, I think, at some point. Not during the movie.
I thought he
He's
was
like in his
38.
No, he turns 42 or like 43 in the movie on his birthday.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah.
Anyway, yeah, she lives in kind of like a shitty studio apartment, and is like a personal assistant to this disgustingly rich family, and just spends her free time like getting drunk with her friends at like weird indie parties
I did not understand what was going on there.
And also she sings with like an acoustic guitarist at
True.
like venues, like live venues.
Yeah, and
Good old Arthur Fleck enters the scene.
Right, and of course she also famously, she says multiple times, just got out of a long relationship.
Sure.
Which I think is key because I think that does add some explanation as to why she's so susceptible to this 42-year-old Joker.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, Roger Greenberg comes down from New York and starts to build the doghouse. He also has a friend in LA. He's from his past named Ivan, who he back in the day wanted to was part of his band. They were gonna try to be a band, I guess, and make it in LA, but at the last second, Roger got cold feet and fled to New York to become a carpenter, which gets brought up in the movie, and I think Ivan clearly holds some contempt towards Greenberg before. And of course, that's one of the characters from Roger's past. There's also his ex-girlfriend, Beth, who is now a mother, 2 kids. Also, Ivan is divorced or separated and has a kid.
Beth is played by Jennifer Jason Leigh, who I didn't even realize this until reading about the movie after the fact, was married to Noah Baumbach at the time.
Okay, I did not know that. Interesting.
Which explains, I think she's like worked with him on multiple movies before.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't know that. So Roger, like, after like only one interaction with Florence, like immediately is like, "Hey, we should meet up for a drink." And he doesn't drive. He doesn't drive. Okay. So she like picks him up, and she's like, "Oh, I'd stop at my apartment for my purse. I forgot my purse. Does it still get carded?" They get there. He comes on to her. They start.
Dude, there's like a hilarious interaction where he's like, "What do you have to drink?" And she's like, "Oh, you don't want to go out anymore?" And he's like, "Nah, it's fine." She's like, I have a Corona Light and some shitty tequila." And he's just like, "Shall we split the Corona?"
Like, shall we split the Corona?
Yeah, shall we? Yeah, dude, that was so good. And then they do split the Corona. They each like take a sip before they start viciously making out.
Oh yeah.
Wait, it was such an awkward scene, bro.
It's probably the most awkward sex scene. I don't know about
Sex.
ever, but that I've seen. Yeah. Well, I mean, they start to have
Right.
relations.
He starts to go down on her for like 20 seconds, and then she stops him by saying, she says like, "I get nerdy" or some shit like that.
She's like something along the lines of that, but then she's like, "I got out of a long relationship. She doesn't want to go from meaningless sex to meaningless sex." There's a funny line where he's like, she's like, "Meaningless sex to meaningless sex to meaningless sex." He's like, "Which one am I?"
Yeah, he's like, who's the third one? And she's like, you, if we did have sex. And he's like, okay, well, who's the second one?
Yeah. And then he's like, okay, and then just tries to bounce
Yeah, dude. That shit was
immediately.
absurd. Still not as funny as like the next time that shit happens, dude. That was. We'll get to that. But yeah, he's like, she like wants to take it slow, so he's like, hey, I'm a walk home. But then she ends up giving him a ride anyway, I believe.
Right. Yeah, and let's see. So the dog gets sick too. He is like lethargic, so Roger calls Florence and takes him to the vet. They learn he has an autoimmune disease. That's also happening. I don't know. I feel pretty quick, unless I'm missing something. At this point in the movie is the crux, where it just kind of turns, and then Florence is like, "Yeah, I like him," right?
Yeah, I mean, they just start like having like an on and off again. Like, do they like each other? They hang out. It's bizarre, but they keep
It
like
seems. It also seems like
escalating.
Roger only truly like commits to this Florence thing after he meets up again with his ex-girlfriend Beth, who
True.
is now a divorced mother, and it's very clear that they're in different places in life, and Beth does not like him because he's a freak, and says some very Joker stuff during their meeting,
True.
like oftentimes just ignoring what she's saying about her kids and just like talking about random shit, very clearly trying to come on to her, trying to ask her out for dinner. She of course puts an end to it pretty quickly. It's kind of funny. She's like waiting for the waitress to come back with a check. Waitress isn't coming, and Roger keeps saying more and more shit, and she like just gets up to go find the waitress for the check.
Yeah.
And then what I'm saying is after that, it seems like Roger like is like, oh, okay, and then just is like next on the list, back to Florence, you know.
Right. Who's also, I guess, yeah, we did talk about that. Just like way younger than him.
Way younger, out of a long relationship. I cannot really understand why she likes him.
It's the least believable part of the movie.
Truly,
Almost takes you out of it.
almost does.
They try to explain it or like justify it through the perspective of her friend, who's like, "Why do you like this guy? He's mean to you, and he's 42, and it doesn't make sense because he's the Joker." And she was like, "No,
She actually
things are
says
just."
that exactly. She says that. Watch
Yeah,
that
well,
scene, guys.
Florence is like, "It's just things that are easy for us are hard for him. I just feel bad."
Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah, because he's the fucking Joker. That's why easy things are hard. He calls crazy straws normal straws.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. It
Okay.
doesn't make sense. They have like the most Joker interaction where they like go to her place. Also, she's kind of Joker too. She's like normal and she's not like socially Joker where she'll like she's just weird. You know, her character has some weird traits and the way she
Right.
talks about stuff can be bizarre sometimes. Like borderline seems like she's drunk but isn't.
Yeah, I
And
think.
there's scene
Yeah.
what?
So I was gonna say maybe she's like some sort of social. I don't know. To me, it seemed
Yeah,
like a
it's like
social, like sort of thing, like ineptitude or something. I don't know. Some sort of. There's definitely something there.
it's like when you're kind of awkward in a conversation, so you just keep talking to fill the
Yeah.
empty space kind of deal. Anyway, she's like doing that with him, and he's like what was it? He like told a story about. No, he didn't even tell it. He just made some like again so Joker comment where he's like, yeah, you know, when my friend and I call each other man, we don't actually mean it. You know, we don't actually call each other man. We're saying
Yeah.
it because we were mocking people who say that.
Yeah.
We're
He
mocking
has a lot
normal
of.
people.
Yeah, he has a lot of contempt for both young people and normal people, quote unquote. Where he says stuff like that. he has a whole thing later on in the movie where he talks about. Oh, he has a little rant, which we'll get to. But
That was a good scene.
That was a good scene. That whole party sequence was probably my favorite part of the movie.
After he tells her about the using man ironically, she goes into this whole story where she's like, this is there at her apartment. It's like another time they've like gotten back together and they're like,
I think this is when they actually have sex. Possibly. No, not
but
yet.
I think they were about to.
Okay.
They were about to, and she like invited him to stay the night. Wink, wink. And it was like, oh,
Right.
they're finally gonna.
Oh
fuck.
yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
Yeah. But then she tells a story. She's like, oh, I know what you mean about like mocking people ironically like that. And she tells this whole story about her and her friend who like went out and pretended to be like slutty LA girls. Her words, not mine.
Yeah.
And how they would like went out and they went to this frat guy's apartment and they like were filming a striptease video and like getting naked for them. And she's like, it's weird, we were like pretending to be these characters, but here we were actually doing these things. And it was kind of an interesting character revealing story.
And she also
and Ben,
I just want to say before, just this detail because it didn't seem like you were going to say it, unless I'm wrong. Did she specifically say that these guys were old?
Yes.
Which is what pisses
so
him.
True, actually. Yeah. So true. She was like, yeah, it's like these frat guys, but they were also like in their 30s, but acting like frat guys. Is this an old school reference? Because Ben Stiller's in the frat pack.
Holy shit.
Which he's apparently denounced as an organization. He's like, this whole business about the frat pack, like, I think it's just a bunch of made-up malarkey or something like that. Which I think is pretty funny. Anyway, yeah, she tells that story, and then he gets like furious at it, and he just like stands up.
He's like, that's some fucking story, and then he just walks out, right?
Yeah, he's like, it's a terrible story. Bye, and then walks away. Dude, his delivery on the word bye was absurd. It caught me off guard. I'm like, what?
Just like, there's so many levels to that for me where it's like, first of all, it's hilarious, his delivery of that. Second of all, it's obviously like fucked up. Like, this guy's crazy.
Yeah.
Third of all, it's like, not to get into anything personal, but like, you know, you meet some interesting characters over the years. You know, we've met people who are like, through school or otherwise, like kind of sociopathic, so to speak. I'm just saying that reminded me of some things. That's all I'm saying. Some of his actions, at least even through the whole movie, were like a little like, okay, this guy's like a major asshole who is socially inept. But yeah.
Someone text Darian. Greenberg is coming for him with a shard of mirror. Do
I have to censor?
You think he's listening?
No, you're right. God damn it.
Bro, can we get...
Do you want to...
Oops, Dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we added him to the chat. Might as well add him to Filmatic too.
True, yeah. If you're out there, we're looking for you. I hope you're okay, genuinely, and we'd like to have you on the podcast. Okay. So...
Anyway... Yes, his reaction, he's like, this is a terrible story. Bye! And like walks out the door, and then you hear him like 20 feet out the door, you don't see him, you just hear him go like, what was the point of that story?
Yeah.
It was like so absurd, and that is the point where you're like, she was like telling the story, and it seemed like she was kind of getting emotional about it because she started to realize as she was telling it was kind of a fucked up like event.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And his reaction to it immediately was just like, that was a terrible story, bye. What was the point? And just literally is already out the door without anything else. How could she possibly still like him after that? How could she talk to him anymore? And that after that is actually when her friend is like, dude, this guy's an asshole, you need to stop talking about him. And she's like, no, things are so harder for him. It's like, dude.
That's just like, the believability just goes out the window after that.
But you know what? They say opposites attract, but maybe Joker attracts Joker.
True. I mean, it's crazier things have happened in real life with relationships, right? I mean, you know.
That's true. The fun zone.
True. Yeah, that is definitely Yeah. So he leaves and is like, I'm not talking to her, whatever, right? Gets bored and I think calls her again, and that's when she's tells him that she's having an abortion. Am I correct? Or like thinks that she's
I think
pregnant,
there's a.
getting checked out.
I feel like there's another falling out between them, like an actual like official one or some shit. I think they fuck. Oh yeah, they fuck. They just like hang
Right.
out another time, even after that.
Oh, there's another time
And
where
then
he yells at her and then leaves.
yeah. He comes in like 10 seconds, and then they get into like not even completely independently. That was just a little fact, little fun fact. They get into like some conversation, and he just starts yelling for no reason again about some bullshit. He's like, "You keep like." He's like,
Yeah, well,
I don't want to talk to you.
He like scolds her for like, he's like, it's your fault that we're involved. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. He's like, you keep texting me. And she's like, I texted about the dog. And he's like, it's not about the dog. Look at yourself. I don't want to keep doing this. We're seeing other people. And she's like, I'm not. And he's like, I'm not either, but I want to.
yeah.
He goes with like full Joker. And then they stop actually talking.
Right. And then the next day, I think, is when she calls him and is like, I'm pregnant and I'm going to go get this done tomorrow. He's like, well, I'll drive you. She's like, how's that going to happen? Cut.
You famously don't drive.
Famously don't drive. Cut. Ivan is driving them, of course, to the hospital. They get there. She has to stay there overnight. Roger does some more asshole shit where he's like, clearly wants to go home and is like, they're like, yeah, she needs to rest here. She wants to stay here and like rest for the night after the operation. He's like, well, maybe she should rest at home. Come on, let's go. Just like multiple times. Ivan's like, should we get her flowers? He's like, I think she'll be hungry. We should get her a burger.
She opens her eyes. She wakes up. Less than a second after they crack open, he's like flopped the burger on her chest.
Yeah.
There's some funny little moments like that in the movie.
Yeah. She stays there another night. They go back home. Roger's like, come on, Ivan, come on, let's hang out. And he's like, no, I gotta go to the motel and fucking jerk off. And
he's living in a motel because he's on a trial separation with his wife, who Greenberg famously hates.
Because she's racist?
Yeah, apparently he's married to a racist Portuguese woman.
Again, a quote from the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Roger goes in, and who's there? His niece and her friend are back from some sort of international trip, about to go on another international trip to Australia. And they're like, hey, what's up, Roger Greenberg? And he's like, what are you doing here? We're going to Australia tomorrow. And cut to later the night, turns out that they're having a huge party. All these young people partying in Roger Greenberg.
It's like the watch all over again.
It's the watch all over again. So Roger comes down, starts acting freaky, like tries to clean the dishes. People are trying to feed the dog who's sick.
Like
beer and pizza. Some kid. Oh, Dave Franco's in this part.
Yeah, so true.
Dave Franco's sitting on the couch and he's like, "Hey man, you want to do some coke?" And Roger just almost instantly says yes. Does a line of coke. Does a line of coke. Starts talking about how the last time he did coke was in high school or no, college. Jesus.
Yeah, we wouldn't know anything about that.
I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't either, but we also certainly wouldn't know anybody who would have done that. Right?
No, of course not. So what does he do? He does coke. He does some Vicodin. He does some drugs. He goes on this booze. Some booze. Goes on this insane rant in front of all the young people where he's like, I hate you and your lifestyle, and you think you're so much cooler than everybody. And
he's actually kind of chill about it, though. He's not like
true. That's actually
yelling at them.
he's like, just, yeah. Well, and they also don't seem like angry at him when he's talking about it. They're just like, really, man? Just like,
They're kind of like laughing at him almost, but
yeah,
also
they're
like,
sort of mocking him. I couldn't tell.
yeah,
But
I think it was.
yeah. But anyway, he then goes upstairs, high as a kite, calls Florence, leaves a voicemail where he's like, I really actually care about you, basically, to sum it up. Goes,
Oh,
yeah.
before that, Ivan comes over.
True.
Greenberg invited him over. He comes over, and before he even makes it in the house, Greenberg like jumps on him, gives him a hug because he's all fucked up and he's crazy at a party. And
Yeah.
they end up having this conversation that essentially Ivan reveals his resentment that he's held towards Greenberg for ruining the band back in high school or college when Greenberg rejected the record deal that they landed. And he's like, yeah, I do regret it because I think we could have, it was my dream to be in the band or whatever. And then Greenberg reveals that he's actually guilty about it too. And he's like, yeah, you think I knew that I had the power to cancel it all? I thought we were just giving our 2 cents. And they have this huge fight. And also Ivan tells him he's getting back together with his wife, which Spencer like he is visibly and verbally against. He's like, nah, dude, you gotta be free. I know it's the harder option, but you got to. And all this essentially leads to what appears to be a permanent dissolution of their friendship. And Ivan's like, I just wish you got to know my son. And he like walks away. And it's pretty sad.
He's like,
actually, he was like,
I just really wish you'd gotten to know Victor. And he's like, no, I wish you'd gotten to know
calls him
Vic. And he's like, who's Victor?
yeah, and he's like,
my son. And then walks away.
Like, oh, dude, but sorry, it's like the
the
funniest line. He's like, oh, Victor. Sorry, I didn't recognize the diminutive.
It's absurd.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I don't know if those moments were intentionally meant to be so funny, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think they were.
Okay, very good. Good.
I mean, clearly, Baumbach knows how to make shit funny. He like helped
Sure.
Wes Anderson write Life Aquatic and Fantastic Mr. Fox, which are two of my favorite of Wes Anderson movies.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Fantastic Mr. Fox is one of the funniest of Wes Anderson's, I think. In terms of the dialogue, dude, that shit is hilarious.
We're definitely gonna get some the Wes Anderson episode up and running. Wednesdays of Wes.
Dude, Tenzin and I were talking about that earlier. He was like, what are you going to do next? And he said he's jokingly suggested Winter of Wahlberg.
Dude, no way. That would be insane.
We were coming up with other W's, and obviously Wes Anderson.
I thought of a few, and just in what was one I thought of the other day? Fucking like...
We talked about the fall of Forte.
Dude. That would be awesome.
That would be.
God, there was one I thought of. I can't remember, but yeah, there's so many possibilities. Who knows what'll be next? Guys, drop a comment. What should be next? But yeah, so Greenberg. So Ivan runs away. Party's over. Next morning, Roger is all like, I don't know what happened last night, and his niece and the girl are like, all right, we're going for Australia in 20 minutes. You should come. And he's like, yeah, maybe I will. Oh, no, sorry. They're like, you should come to Australia. He's like, maybe I will. He's like, well, we're leaving in 20 minutes.
They say 5 minutes, dude.
Oh, 5 minutes.
Which is so hilarious.
Yeah. Cut to Greenberg packing his bags to go to Australia and leaving the dog with the neighbors who have been using the pool. And, like, tells them to give him multiple medications he needs, which they obviously will not do.
Yeah.
Cut to him in the car. I think he really would have gone to Australia if they hadn't made some more jokes about him. Because once they make some jokes about him in the car, he gets pissed. And then also sees a floaty, one of those things outside of the car dealership. The tube man. And this, for some reason, reminds him of Florence. So he's like, stop the car. Let me out of the car. And they won't let him out of the car as a joke. And then they let him out of the car. He runs away. picks up Florence from the hospital, I guess. They go back to her apartment, and that's the final scene of the movie is him in her apartment talking. And then he's like, have you heard the voicemail yet? She's like, no, I haven't. She starts listening to voicemails, gets to his, she's like, this is yours. End credits.
True.
Who knows what would happen after? Did Greenberg and Florence end up getting married and having kids, living a happily life happily ever after?
Certainly not that last one.
Yeah. So
interesting
Greenberg.
movie.
Very interesting movie. What do you think?
It was bizarre, well made, and well acted. Extremely well acted.
Definitely.
But not the most compelling story, in my opinion.
I think it could have been good. A good story. Okay, first of all, I don't know. That sounds like bad. Like, it's not a bad movie. It's a good movie. Like you said, it's well crafted, well made. If you like Noah Baumbach, definitely check it out. I guess on a personal level, and it seems like you feel this way too, like, there's just a lot of, I don't know. I'm not saying the character has to be like likable or whatever, but like, I don't know, it didn't feel like fleshed out. Okay, I don't know. I'm not trying to also, because on the other hand, Ben Stiller did a really good job portraying Greenberg as Greenberg, and really sold that point, which I really did not expect to see from Ben Stiller. Not that I didn't think he could do it, but I didn't expect that this was going to be that and that he would pull it off. So
it's nice seeing, like a change of a new role. You know,
serious of Stiller. You know,
he's not.
He really can do it all. Name me one.
No, seriously.
Ben Stiller is my favorite actor, so I know he's yours too.
Greenberg, he's like this neurotic freak. You got like kind of a normal like Jewish guy who's like in like a, what's the term, like,
what are you talking about, Meyerowitz?
Yeah.
I think Meyerowitz is good because it takes, I mean, we're gonna get to it, but it takes this classic idea, and in so many Ben Stiller movies we've talked about, where it's like he's the everyman, you know, in Meet the Parents, he's you when you meet your in-laws, you know. Right. In Tower Heist, he's a working stiff, you know, you can relate to that. There's so many like everyman Ben Stiller roles, but they all have their own flair of like, how do you relate to them? In Meyerowitz stories, personally, I think he's the everyman again, or like, I guess, well, I mean, a lot of characters are, but like, you can relate to being in a family that's complicated, that's fucked up, you know. A lot of people can relate to having a traumatic childhood, even if it's not necessarily like overtly traumatic, just having a childhood, having things happen to you when you're a kid that stay with you for your life, and how those come out, and how that influences your relationship with your family and with others and your career and your, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's so much of that in Meyerowitz. So it's not I'm not saying you were saying this, but like, I feel like it's more than people who are like, well, he just plays a normal guy. You know what I mean?
Right. I was just
I know you weren't
saying
that.
Trying to come up with a good description of it, which I failed to do. I just was able to throw in Jewish because
just a Jewish guy.
Yeah. I mean, the movie's very refreshingly. It's just nice seeing a Jewish family dynamic. It's interesting. It's a nice
True.
I'm not saying it's typical of every Jewish family dynamic.
Yeah,
it is like a What?
I was gonna say for the visual video people who are watching on video, not listening on audio. I know I have a Kanye West poster back here. Listen, I'm evaluating whether that should be up. I love Jewish people and Jewish families. I love Meyerowitz stories, okay? Do not cancel Filmatic over this, all right? I'm going to figure it out. Just that'd be a funny joke. But yeah, anyway, yeah.
Right. But yeah, no, it is nice. I like seeing the Jewish representation. I like the and not that Dustin Hoffman's like a likable character in that movie. But it is, I don't know. It's like when you see someone on the screen, you can be like, yeah, I can relate to that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the point is, his Tower Heist / The Watch character his something about Mary, Along Came Polly, Ninth Museum, everything's going wrong for him character. Beginning of Ninth Museum, the beginning of the first movie.
Right.
You know, the classic character where everything is going wrong for this poor guy. Didn't meet the parents. Come on.
Yeah.
They're classic roles. But I'm telling you, like, the Greenberg shit was out of left
Yeah.
field. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, in a
and-
way, though, Tropic Thunder and Dodgeball were both also pretty... Oh, and Zoolander, dude, that's
what I'm saying. I'm saying he's done so many different things.
Yeah, no, it's insane.
The criticism of Ben Stiller that you hear is like he always does the same thing, but really he doesn't. You know, I think his most popular movies happen to be the ones where he's getting the shit kicked out of him because it's so enjoyable to watch.
By life.
You know? Yeah, by life, by in-laws, by aliens, by whatever you want, you know.
Right. I think he plays a lot of similar. It's like people in comparable scenarios, but he plays the characters differently.
True. No, I mean, yeah, like we made jokes about it, but like I don't feel like his Tower Heist character and his Watch character are the same person.
They're not. They have a lot of similar personality traits, though.
But they're different. That would be interesting. How do you think?
What does he say at the end of the movie when he blows up Costco? It's like, "Goodbye, sweet child of mine."
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think Josh Kovacs would have said in that moment? You know?
Yeah, if the hotel was blowing up.
I guess The Watch and Tower Heist are definitely the closest his characters have gotten. Just because I feel like, now that I'm thinking about it, like, Josh Kovacs also undergoes, like, a crazy adventure that makes him more confident and more of a leader.
Right.
But then again, you know, from the beginning, he was already a leader, so I don't know. Anyway, not to, like...
It just makes him less of a dick.
True.
Who cares about nothing but his job. But then again, that's also the same with The Watch, because remember how he was so, like, superficial towards Hernandez. I believe it. No, not Hernandez. That's the guy. That's the guy from Secret Life of Walter Mitty. That's his friend from.
Yeah, I don't remember the other name, but I see what you mean. But also at the end of Tower Heist, he fucking got everyone there. He went to jail for everybody and got them the gold parts. So.
Well, he blew up the Costco.
Yeah.
And got them jobs or some shit.
Goodbye, sweet child of mine.
Dude, that... Yeah. The thing is, the argument where someone plays the same character, I hear it used as a criticism literally about every single actor if somebody doesn't like that actor. That's like the default thing they can say. If I don't like an actor, I can just say that. You know what I mean? That's like your get out of jail free criticism pass. You can be like, oh, you don't actually have any good, like, you don't have any thought out reasons you don't like this person. You can just say that about anyone, and it'll be like, yeah, I guess you're right. They do kind of. That's just because these people have like a personality that is, it's like a style. That's like saying, oh, dude, Da Vinci's paintings, or like, bro, Van Gogh always paints the same shit. They're all like swirly and impressionist. Yeah, he's a fucking impressionist.
Yeah,
that's like,
that's
the artist's style.
Ben Stiller is definitely the Van Gogh of our time, in my book.
Right.
I'm happy to say that. But yeah, Greenberg, Ben Stiller had a good performance. It was a weird movie in terms of some motivations, but it was very well made, and I do think it is worth putting on your ever-growing list. You know, if you have everyone has a list like Justin, we all have a list like that. I'd say it's still worth putting on the list. Maybe not too high up, but I think it's worth checking out at some point.
I would like to add.
Yeah.
Just to double check, because I didn't want to make myself look like a right knob. Van Gogh is actually a post-impressionist, not an impressionist.
Thank you.
The point is,
sure. Yeah.
He has a distinctive style, at least in different phases. Can I just say, Two Crabs by Vincent van Gogh is one of the nicest paintings ever made.
Should that be the cover of this episode?
out of context covers.
We could post the out of context picture again where we're giving hints like we did for the Schneider
True.
thing.
Dude,
Speaking
actually,
of, dude, something
what was
crazy
I
happened today. Sorry, do you want to go first or should I go first?
No. Go first, please.
Okay. I don't know if we have to censor this. You can tell me after. But someone dropped a comment on that out of context post. You remember when I posted this where it's like you and me in the art museum?
Yeah.
All those pictures we did. Medusa. You remember that?
I actually don't remember any of the other ones besides that.
Okay, I can show you on camera and I'll explain it for our audio listeners. So this is the caption. This is March 25th. Caption out of context spoilers for tonight's Justice is Grey episode. Okay, so this first picture is me and Justin. This is all black and white, by the way, in an art museum. This all makes sense
It's
if you listen.
grayscale, okay?
Yeah, it's grayscale. There's Meryl Streep, Justice League.
So true.
Here's Granny. What's her name? Granny
Goodness, right?
Granny Goodness. And the quiz that we took, I think. Oh no, missing poster of Zeus.
Have you Have you seen Zeus? Yeah.
Dude, that's insane. And then the quiz that we took. Okay.
Right.
But just keep in mind that the cover picture of this is the one that's you and me in the thing. Okay. Remember,
I don't remember the context of that one. That is literally out of context for me because I don't remember why were we walking in an art museum.
I think we talked about the best date idea being going to a museum.
So true. It was in the quiz, wasn't it? It was on the quiz.
Yeah. And we had like a riff about that for a few minutes. So that was one of the pictures I came up with. Okay, keep in mind this was March 25th. All right. January, February, March. That was like 9 months ago. Okay, so
Right.
9 months ago, someone commented on this picture. This has no comments until today. Can you guess who commented on this picture? And I'm gonna narrow it down for you. It wasn't Colton. It wasn't.
No, I know who it was.
How do you know? Someone tell you?
I was there when it happened.
No, this happened today.
Yeah, I know.
What?
Dude,
You don't have Instagram.
I was in a call with the person when they did it.
That's cap, but go ahead. Who do you think it is?
What do you mean that's cap?
You were not in a call with this person. Oh my god.
Do you think this was a different person?
I thought it was a different person. Because
Who did you think it
you know
was?
why? Because I haven't opened Instagram. I just saw the notification pop up in one of my notifications when we were, and I thought it was Miss Henches. Because her username is also Jess.Henches.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Dude, no, okay. The big reveal, it was Jessica.
Yeah, of course. I see that now.
Dude, I wish...
I thought it was going to be like big reveal Morty. And then you were like, I was in a call with them. I'm like, what?
That's cap, but okay. That's cap, but continue. Or whatever.
You must have thought I was like...
I was like, I literally was. What do you mean?
So that's crazy. I literally saw the notification. I'm like, Miss Henches commented. That's so weird. I'm not even going to think about this. And then I kept doing what I was doing.
What the comment was also.
The comment was, handsome devils.
Imagine if Henches said that. Dude, that'd be awesome.
That's something she would say, though. Which is
Fair
why
enough.
I thought it was her. Because she's left some... Again, I don't know if we're censoring the name. But she's left some weird likes and comments on both Filmatic and my Instagram. And I've never talked to her in my life.
I don't know how weird it is. I saw she commented on the... First of all, we live in a universe. We live in a society where my AP Lang teacher from 11th grade has watched like a 40-second video of me pretending to be Ben Stiller in the after credit scene from Meet the Parents.
We do live in a society where that happened.
And she commented, I remember seeing Meet the Parents in theaters, and it's still funny today.
Yep. Quote, I
and
saw
I'm thinking,
Meet the
that's
Parents.
kind of insane, dude. I fucking wish I could go see that in theaters in 2000.
Yeah, that is
Imagine
crazy.
A pre-9/11 world, just looking at Ben Stiller in a sweater on the big screen.
That would be incredible. That's what,
thing.
just thinking about stuff after Summer Stiller's been going on, and seeing the Kratos ad the other day is like, I really hope I don't go the rest of my life without getting to see Ben Stiller on the big screen, because
True.
I don't know if I have. I might have seen one of the Night of the Museums, but I can't remember it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
But
hope so too.
God, I really hope so. Please, Ben Stiller, do the Meet the Parents reboot. Come on. What are you gonna say?
Reboot. See Walter Mitty 2.
Dude, I would love to see that, which launches us into the Steer Life of Walter Mitty. However, what was the context of Jessica commenting this on the Instagram? Were you just like, oh yeah, this happened? Or like
She likes to go through and look at the posts/clips that have me in them,
nice.
and was just going through the Instagram. And you know what? Okay, you'll get a kick out of this. It was actually in reference to you. She initially made that comment, but
Yeah.
No, seriously. It was because in that picture you're giving this like male model look at the camera. You're
Yeah,
like,
I guess
you're
so,
like
yeah.
your head's tilted down.
Well, it's also
And
because I literally tilted that sticker of my head. So
fair enough. But yeah, she was gonna put handsome devil, but she thought you would assume she was talking about me.
I would assume that.
I figured you would have, and so she added the handsome devils plural, so you would know at least some of it was directed towards you.
That's awesome.
Dude, I thought it was pretty funny.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Cool story.
She was like, "Who's this male model here?" She was like, "Yeah, no, it's pretty funny. It was good.
That's
You're
funny.
giving like a blue steel look in it."
I really am. That's probably my most blue steel-esque picture. That is the one that we've used on a lot of those stickers we used to put on the covers. Maybe we should go back to that. Guys, leave a comment.
After Summer Stiller, I was thinking it'd be a nice return.
I was thinking about that too. Yeah, I like the new age cover Evan made, but it really only fits for this event of
True.
Summer of Stiller. Okay, let's move on to the secret life of Walter Mitty. All right.
True.
What?
I'm looking through the Ben Stiller filmography just to see if there's anything I might have been. Oh, dude, I have seen him in theaters. First of all, there's the obvious. I know I've talked about on the podcast literally multiple times. At this point, it's going to be like 5 or 6 times now that I've said that saw Madagascar 2 in theaters when my dentist gave us free tickets.
True, I guess I've seen that.
I saw Madagascar 2, and I've seen Night at the Museum 2 in theaters as well. Famously, the only time I've seen it, besides when I rewatched it for the episode. But I also just remembered, again, I've also mentioned on the podcast, saw Zoolander 2 with Connor.
True. Do that picture that we've shown every time.
But yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even realize actually how many times I've seen him on screen.
Yeah,
but
no, I
not
guess
in any way where I was truly able to appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, no. Now would be
Imagine
like
I could go back to 2011 and see The Watch in theaters.
I feel like seeing Ben Stiller in a movie theater now for me would be the same feeling as when we saw Tobey Maguire again in the new Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
haven't seen that yet.
That's crazy. But like
If
seeing
I hadn't
that
had
again,
that spoiled for me on Reddit, I would have been upset.
yeah, I would assume there's no way you would not. How would you not get that spoiled?
I was unfortunately subscribed to Rami memes.
Raimi
memes. Sam, yeah, whatever. Romney memes. But the point is, the sub started getting less funny anyway.
It did.
But it also cringily spoiled that shit for me, which I was like,
that's fucked.
I was gonna watch all the Marvel movies up to that point.
Yeah, inevitably. We don't know when this would be.
I've made some progress.
Okay.
Last spring break, I watched Captain America.
Yeah, we already talked about that.
Did I?
Yeah.
Well, that's the most Marvel progress I've made.
I will agree on the Raimi memes point. It used to be the shit. Me and Manny actually found Raimi memes in like 10th grade. At that point, there were literally less than 1,000 subscribers.
That's insane.
Shit was so down in the dumps that they were literally making memes about each other. Like, /Glorious Onion when he makes when he wakes up and like shits the bed, just like so like inside joke.
When he
meme.
wakes up and shits the bed.
Dude, I don't know, but it was like I don't know. It was kind of a golden age, I gotta say.
That is hilarious, dude.
Same thing with r/Nolan Batman memes. Also had a very similar, very insider sort of thing going on. Blew up, but the thing is, that one just died again a few years ago, as far as I remember. / have checked, which is interesting. But
well, same with prequel memes. That was also hilarious, and it's so terrible now.
So cringe.
It was worse than Raimi memes.
Oh yeah,
I unsubbed from prequel memes way before Raimi memes. It got terrible.
Raimi memes just got like sad, but prequel memes it was like actively like Jesus Christ. Like, yeah. Anyway, enough Reddit talk. The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, released in 2013, 3 years after Greenberg.
True. Another directed by and starring Ben Stiller.
Right. Directed by Ben Stiller, based off the character Walter Mitty, first published in a New Yorker short story in 1947, I think. I read about it a little bit.
39.
There you go. But no, 47 was the first movie. So yeah, published in 39.
True, with Danny Kaye. That's crazy. I didn't even realize that.
Boris Karloff. Yeah, so based on that short story about this guy who daydreams a lot, the short story is basically like this guy, he's running errands with his wife, and he's very like disattached, and every time he runs an errand for her, he like slips into a daydream where he's like a sea captain or a general in an army or a neurosurgeon, and it goes on, and then the final daydream is him being shot in a firing squad for unnamed war crimes. So it's pretty zany story. You should check it out. Very short.
Have you read it?
Yeah, it's like less than 7-minute read.
Where did you find it?
I just looked up Walter Mitty short story. It's still there on the New York website.
Word. True.
Yeah, no.
That's crazy.
So then it was remade in 1947 as a musical. Not many elements of the original story or the character were in the musical beyond that he daydreamed. It was a very, as Ben Stiller put in an interview that I saw, like typical of the time movie where it's just like the 40s musical comedy. You know, there's 3 numbers in it. There's slapstick comedy. It's just like whatever. So that was 1947. Cut to early 2000s. The Paramount Pictures, I believe, owned the rights to Walter Mitty through some sort of deal and tried to get a movie started. They originally considered Owen Wilson, I want to say Willem Dafoe. There's so many like big, Jim Carrey, a lot of big names they threw around. I believe one was actually attached. I think Owen Wilson was the one that was actually attached for at least a year, and then it just didn't work out. Rolled around. Then it's decided Ben Stiller will direct the script, and star in it. And in 2013, it comes out. So that's a little bit of the production history. But yeah, so Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Do you want to just jump into the plot, or what are you thinking?
Sure. Yeah, I remember I was really excited when this came out.
Dude, yeah.
Wasn't it also, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but around the same time, didn't Ben Stiller like announce he was retiring from acting? And this was like going to be his last movie or something. Clearly was not the case, but I remember that was at least a rumor that I had heard and I believed at the time. I think this was like 8th grade or something around the time. I mean, we were like 12 something. Anyway, I remember thinking like, damn, that sucks. I love Ben Stiller. And I was like, this is kind of like his final send-off. And I was really excited. And my brother got in the $5 bin from Walmart a double feature of Secret Life of Walter Mitty and The Internship. And I was like, dude, actually, no, it was a fucking $3.75 bin, which I don't even know if they still have at Walmart.
Really?
And I was like, that's a crazy fucking deal. And watch both of them. We can get into internship some other time because we don't want to make this episode too long. But
True.
yeah, I mean, I was a big fan of it. I remember showing Jackson laying out. I was like, you got to watch this shit. So we watched it like the same week I watched it the first time, right? I just like instantly rewatched it.
That's awesome.
It was like a childhood favorite of mine, even though I was already in like.
See, for me, it's
middle
like I
school.
wanted it to be like I remember seeing the trailer when it came out through some way or some form, and being like, "That looks fucking awesome!" Like, you know, you see the poster of him like flying in the air. It's Ben Stiller, of course, so it's just like I really want to see that. I never got to see it. I didn't have any means to see it, so I just never saw it. But I've always wanted to. I just never got around to it. So I was really, really hyped to see it, and I was not disappointed. I had a really good time watching this movie, and it was great. And I think I'm going. Yeah, it was the first time, and I think that I'm going to rewatch it many times in the future. It was a charming movie, if we could put it that way. Charming? Yeah. Sorry.
Do you think so, Dad? We forgot to rate Greenberg, by the way.
Oh, that's gonna be hard.
Moving on. Oh, dude, they said that in one of the. I think it was in Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Someone says, "As they say, moving on," and I'm like, "Is that a fucking Night at the Museum reference?" Because like, as they say, and no one in the movie had said it before. Who are they saying says this? Are they talking? Are they talking about Cecil? They're talking about Cecil,
right?
Cecil.
Cecil.
Dude, Cecil Stiller to this day.
Best title we have.
Best title, dude. It's so good.
Yeah. But yeah, Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Actually, I don't know if you knew this, but it's got some pretty mixed reviews. More so ranging / leaning towards mid/negative, especially when it came out. It's let's see if I can find a little. Yeah, I got a 52% on Rotten Tomatoes. I guess critics didn't think that it was that it was trying to be profound, but it wasn't. I don't know. I felt like personally, like the intentions of the movie felt very, very clear. It also, I like that there was, it at least to me, felt like there was a little bit of a switch up where it's like you get into the movie, you see that he's having all these daydreams, and you are led to believe this will become a thing for 2 hours, that he's going to have a daydream after daydream, cut in and out of it. I like that him starting his adventure and like getting out of his dreams, so to speak. There's no more daydreams after that. It kind of subverts your expectations and also makes sense. Where it's like he's just living this craziness, I like that a lot.
Yeah. No, also and the first thing, we can get to that in the plot. Continue.
Sure.
I don't want to jump into it.
No, I was gonna say just really endearing, and I specifically went back and watched the scene where he jumps into the helicopter. I watched that a few times. It's an awesome scene. I'm not gonna lie.
It is a great scene.
But anyway, we can talk about the plot now, I guess. So, Walter Mitty, he is a negative assets manager at Life magazine. He has chronic daydreams, now known, I think, as maladaptive daydreaming. And he starts the movie and you see he's on this dating site, eHarmony. This is back when eHarmony was the big thing. And he wants to send a wink, which is like send a like, whatever, swipe right, whatever you want to call it.
Is eHarmony real?
Yeah.
Okay. I did notice there's a lot of product placement in that movie.
Okay, see,
like,
can we talk about that? Listen, I want to say, I really didn't even I didn't think twice about the product placement in the movie until I read reviews where they were like complaining about it.
Really?
I felt like all the product placement worked. It never felt like an ad to me. None of it. The Papa John's, the eHarmony, I don't know. It all serviced the plot and serviced the vibe of the movie perfectly. I think it worked better for specifically like the Papa John stuff.
Right.
Just
Papa
like
John's had
works
some
better.
good jokes.
Well, that's some
You
good
know?
jokes, but like if it was just a generic pizza place, I don't think it would have. I don't know. It wouldn't have felt the same.
Well, the whole point was that the name actually was directly
Right.
integral to the context of
Well,
the
that too.
movie.
Yeah.
I think eHarmony easily could have been just like any fucking random name.
Yeah,
Like
but I mean the fact that it's
onlinedating.com.
yeah, but I mean, did you watch this and do you think it would make you want to go start using eHarmony? You know what I mean? Like
No, of course not.
the whole
But
point of it is that
like
he quits eHarmony.
true. Yeah. But
He's like,
I think
he also
that's-
makes fun of
that's
how
a-
much it costs. He's like, yeah, I can't swing this 700 a year or whatever. Like,
it is expensive. Also, if you look, maybe I'm the Joker, but the very first scene in the movie shows him. Also, dude, the movie is shot so fucking nice.
Dude,
it is like the most
cinematography-
pleasing looking movie I've ever seen, dude.
I was not ready for this level of cinematography. It was crazy.
Okay. Yeah, I rewatched it again. This is probably like the 4th or 5th time I've seen it. And like I remember liking it and being like, yeah, dude, it's a great movie. He does fun stuff. Good
Yeah.
soundtrack, which we'll also get into. But like rewatching it now, I was like, I liked it more than I have in the past. I was like, this shit actually really impressed me.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm exaggerating when I say one of the nicest shot movies I've ever seen in my life, but it has some insane shots and it's really beautiful.
Might be the best shot Stiller movie, possibly.
Honestly, probably true.
I mean, Meyerowitz is up there, but
I was gonna say both of the Noah Baumbach ones had really good cinematography. That's like his whole thing, you know, his
yeah.
dialogue and his cinematography.
Yeah.
But okay,
yeah. Go ahead.
fuck, there's something I was gonna say. Oh yeah, and like the first like scene in the movie is like this scene of him in his apartment, and he's writing in his checkbook. And forgive me, I haven't used a checkbook for much since BizTown in 5th grade, but I don't know the name of the page on the front where you like keep a track of all of the shit you paid for and like subtract it from the total, and every time you write something you like change the total amount. And I paused it. That's why I said I might be the Joker for doing this, but I paused it because I wanted to read all of the things he's paid for. eHarmony was like hundreds of dollars, bro, for like the sign up. I'm like, holy shit, bro.
That's crazy.
That, like,
that can't be
that's
real.
the whole thing. That's not like a Tinder. It's not like a Tinder app, you know. It's one of those like meeting like actual partners. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I feel like is also kind of like a 2010s type thing. I
It
feel like you
is.
don't really hear about anymore. You know?
Yeah.
You do get some classic Stiller in that scene, like slapstick of Stiller, where he's like, not really slapstick, but you know what I mean. When he's like trying to send the
physical
wink.
comedy. Yeah.
He's trying to send the wink and it just won't. It's like boom, error, and then he just keeps doing. He's like,
Yeah. No, it's good. Which we then cut to, you know, he can't send the wink. He then is waiting for the bus and calls Todd from eHarmony. I thought that was funny. I don't know. I
agree.
I like Todd from eHarmony.
I think it's a really funny. It's a nice
Yeah.
background, like storyline / bit to have.
Yeah,
like,
it
going.
works. Yeah, it works as a check-in for his life.
Also, will say Walter Mitty is by far the most comedy of the 3 serious of Stillers.
Yes, easily. I think it's even just if you look at Walter Mitty on Google, I'm pretty sure it says comedy under genre.
Yeah, I mean it is. But we just needed a third.
I mean, I was trying to pitch Darian. I was trying to pitch Darian to watch it the other day, and I was like hyping it up, and then Darian was like, "So it's a comedy," and I was like, like I didn't know what to say. So I didn't want to say comedy because like I feel like you hear Ben Stiller comedy, you get certain expectations when you go in.
Right, like Dodgeball tier.
Yeah,
like
yeah, like it's not
Zoolander.
Dodgeball is a comedy. Zoolander's a comedy. Walter Mitty is comedic. You know, like
exactly. No, yeah.
It's comedic. That's the word. But
what it seemed kind of like to me. Actually, I feel like that's an insight to drop after the story has been walked through. Should we walk through it?
Yeah.
Continue, rather. I knew you already started. I'm sorry.
No, it's good. eHarmony, winking doesn't work. Goes to wait for the bus, calls Todd from eHarmony, played by Patton Oswalt. He's like, the winking isn't working.
We don't even see him. We just
Yeah.
hear Patton Oswalt's voice.
Yeah, we never see him until the end of the spoiler end of the movie. I don't know. He's like, yeah, the eHarmony winking isn't working, and he's like, no problem, we can set you up manually. Let's see here. So what are some things that you've done? Have you done anything? He's like, I
Been there, done that.
yeah, been there, done that section, and then we get cut to the first daydream of Walter Mitty, where he hears a siren going off while he's on the phone. Turns building nearby is on fire, and he it turns into
It's
kind
like
of
on-
yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, no, continue. I was just gonna say he's on an elevated like train platform,
Yeah,
so he's like
that's a good
looking
detail.
into the windows of like an 8th floor like apartment or some shit.
Yeah.
Go on.
So fire start. I also like one thing that we see introduced in this is like during the dream sequences, like the very like profound and like really good cinematography that's mostly like wide shots on a still camera turns into like a handheld sort of thing where
Like
it's
like a Michael Bay.
well, yeah, it's reflecting what it's parodying, which is in this case an action movie, and I think in almost all the dreams an action movie. So yeah, so handheld, him running into the building, saving people from a fire. I think he grabs a dog or something, maybe.
He like jumps. He does like a flip or some shit. Like he does like a corkscrew, like jumps off the platform into a window. The camera like quickly goes down to the bottom floor, and he instantly is like coming out the front door, carrying a 3-legged dog, which is a reference to the girl he's trying to send a wink to on eHarmony. He like read her bio, and she was
so
like,
true. I didn't even think about that.
I have one of those 3-legged dogs and a child, 2-legged. And he gives like a little like we just see a little like side shot of his face, and he just goes,
yeah.
This is so
true, so true.
So yeah, he comes out with the dog. She comes running up. She's like, "Oh, you found my dog!" And he's like, "I smelled gas and I heard barking." And like, and on my way down the elevator, I whittled him this prosthetic. A little, and he his classic like little kelp algae type plant.
Yeah.
He's like, it's a little spring-loaded lever type like arm device. It's so good.
Yeah. No,
that's what I'm saying. There are some like token comedy.
That's true.
That are like
it all just blends together so well. Yeah.
No, yeah.
It really blends together really well. So cut back. He's still sitting on the train platform. Big reveal, Morty. He was dreaming.
And he's missed his train. It cuts to him watching his train pass in the distance. It's a really cool scene, actually.
Yeah, it is.
It does the classic wake up from a dream where he's talking to the woman and her voice turns into Todd from eHarmony's voice.
Yeah, it's like she's like, thank you, Walter, and he's like, Walter. I said, Walter, what else have you done in the been there, done that? And then he's like watching the train go by, train's gone, cut to him walking to work. We get the classic shot. I love the colors in this part of the movie where it's like everything's kind of gray and blue, dark, bluish, where it's like everything blends together. He's like in a crowd of people walking to work. They all look similar, walking to work. And it's also, just a gray building, the Life building. Very cool set. I saw a behind the scenes thing where they actually like of them like modeling the set. It's like really actually like very intricate and stuff. It's very cool.
I mean, it looks like it. Some of the shit is like, it's like so fastidiously placed out.
Yeah,
and,
very meticulous.
Yeah. It's got a nice like North Sea color scheme. The movie,
True.
It's all like dark, like blues and grays and like maroons.
Yeah. So then, do you want to take it from here?
Sure. Yeah.
Done a lot of plot. No, you've seen this a few times.
Yeah. It's good. So essentially, he gets into work after obviously missing his train. So he's like, "Oh, fuck, I'm late." He's like running to work. He's like looking at his watch. He gets into the building and he is approached by either his coworker or his coworker's like, "Oh, shit day to be late, buddy. not actually. He's like, yeah, dude, terrible time to be late. We're being acquired. They're like downsizing the company. Like people are probably going to get fired. We're under evaluation. It's like a big deal. Then his sister shows up, Odessa, and she's like, "Happy birthday, Walt!" Big reveal, it's his birthday. She gets him a cake, and she's like, "Oh, I got a part in a play, so I need you to go help our mom with the piano." And I'm like, "What is that?" It's some kind of subplot that we're going to get introduced to. He says he can't because he's late, and clearly something important's happening at the company. So he says, "Listen, you're going to have to blow off your audition and go do this." So she bounces. She's kind of mad at him. He goes into work, and he's catches up with his other guy and some work buddies, and they're talking about, oh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? And then another guy who's like kind of in the background turns around to reveal Adam Scott with a big beard. He's like, oh, I know what's going to happen. I can tell you. I'm the guy who's in charge of the transition. And he kind of introduces himself as a dick. He's like kind of like blunt and, he's like trying to be
Adam
funny.
Scott. Played by Adam Scott,
Yeah.
who is in Parks and Recreation, but also is now working with Stiller. He's the lead in Severance, the TV show I was talking about earlier. Yeah, he's the lead.
Okay.
So
Nice.
I think he played this role pretty well.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
The beard.
Which is funny. It's like completely different from his character in Parks and Rec.
Yes,
He's kind of
very
mild mannered and like. Anyway, point is, he's like Ben Stiller's kind of awkward and like not like his character's really awkward, but in this conversation, he like kind of stutters and doesn't really. He's flustered, right? And Adam Scott's character, he like gets called a name by other people, but I'm pretty sure he's like credited as like beard guy or something,
That's
which I think is hilarious. Anyway, he snaps at this opportunity to essentially make Ben Stiller like a recurring victim of his like bullying in the office, and he's like, what you don't know what you do? And the whole time Ben Stiller is like, he's like, oh, so Adam Scott's like, what do you do? And he's like, yeah, I am. I'm like, and then Adam Scott makes some comment. He's like, yeah, he like ridicules him, and Ben Stiller's like, you know what? I've had it, and like snaps and like starts like fighting him, and they like, what does he do? He like,
are you talking about when he has the doll?
No. Oh no, he doesn't start fighting him, doesn't he? Just like roast him or something.
Yeah, you're talking about when they're in the elevator, right?
Yeah. No,
yeah, here's what happens. Okay, well, the one I'm thinking of is when he's in the elevator. The other two guys are behind him that he works with, and when he snaps back, he's like, "And you know what I think? The beard should only be worn by Dumbledore or something."
Yeah, not you.
And then the guys behind him are like laughing hysterically.
Yeah.
Cut to
right. That is what I was
life.
thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another dream. Boom. He was daydreaming, and Adam Scott's like,
"You're a fucking freak." Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, guy, what do you do? And Ben Stiller's like, oh,
negative
assets manager, and he's like, worth the wait.
Yeah.
And like walks away, which I think was pretty good delivery on that.
That was very good. Very good.
Yeah. So he goes down to his like warehouse-esque office, which is literally a warehouse where he has one other buddy, Hernandez, who's like his like direct inferior. I don't know. It sounds like the wrong word to use, but you'd call him
he's like
superior.
Yeah, he's like kind of his boss basically. Like he's.
I mean,
Ben Stiller.
I wouldn't have even thought he was his boss if he didn't say later in the movie that he was a good boss. He literally calls him his boss.
Well,
but they seem like they both do similar. It's very casual work environment, it seems like.
Yeah, casual, like they're very good friends, it seems. Like, probably Ben Stiller's only friend, even if they don't hang out outside of work, so to speak.
True. Yeah, he's like, he helps out with the negative assets, and he's like, Ben Stiller finds a letter on his desk, or a package, and it's like a reel of film with a little wrapped gift, and he's like, what is this? And Hernandez is like, oh, it's from Sean O'Connell, who's like a big photographer, played by Sean Penn, who's been working with Ben Stiller for a while, and we get some background
for years.
Info. True. Hernandez is like, yeah, he's like the only one who. He's like, yeah, he still uses film. He's so old school. Earned some respect in my book for a man crush or some shit like that. And Ben Stiller opens up the film, and he's like, do you want to mount this? And Hernandez mounts it, and he opens the package, and it's like a letter. And Sean Penn's like, oh, you know what? Thanks for working with me for like 16 years. I can always trust you to get my work where it needs to be. Number 25 in the reel is the big picture. It's the good one.
The
It's the big one.
quintessence of life.
That's what he calls it. He's like the quintessence of life. You gotta. I'm sure I can trust you'll get it where it needs to be. And Hernandez mounts all the shit, and he's like, Ben Stiller, it's not here. Number 25 is gone. And right after that happens, after they realize 25 is gone, another one of Ben Stiller's work buddies, the one who he first ran into in the building, pops his head in the door, and he's like, big meeting with the acquisition upstairs. They want you to bring number 25. so bring 25, and then he leaves. And cue them looking at each other like, uh-oh. Ben Stiller's like, all right, you need to try and find it. And he goes upstairs, right in the middle of classic awkward Stiller moment where he opens the door in the middle of the meeting where everyone's like listening, and he's like behind the speaker and everyone else on the other side of the room. And he actually
to
walks
like shuffle into the crowd.
Yeah. And Adam Scott's addressing the group, dude, there's like, the scene's actually really funny, the way he like every now and then like turns around to confirm with his lackeys like what he's saying.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, we're getting acquired. I think one of the other guys working there is also like doing some of the talking. He's like, yeah, sad stuff. Oh yeah, he's the one actually talking at first. He's like, really sad, we're bummed we're gonna have to be firing you. And then right as he's like, oh, but the good news is, and then Adam Scott interrupts him and he's like, listen everybody, we need number 25. Who's got it? And he like turns around, he's like, what am I doing up here? And the guy who was first talking, he's like, it's actually this gentleman over here, and he points to Ben Stiller, and he's like,
Major Tom. Yeah,
because he like initially called Ben Stiller Major Tom as like a,
because he was like drifting, he was mid-dream, and
to just a guy. I don't understand how it really relates to the song. Oh, it's because he was saying, can you hear me, Major Tom, which is the lyrics.
His delivery was so good during that.
Yeah, no, his delivery in the movie is just hilarious. Adam Scott plays the perfect asshole in this movie.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But he's like, Major Tom, and he's like, seems like genuinely happy. He doesn't seem like he just, like, I like how there's moments in this movie, not counting towards the end, where he like doesn't just straight up hate Ben Stiller. He's just like, all right, yeah, you're gonna give me what I need. All right. So, where is it? Where's number 25? And Ben Stiller's like, it's being processed.
Yeah.
And yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's like it's being processed. He comes with an excuse because they obviously can't find it. Oh, also in the package with the letter from Sean Penn was also a wallet engraved with like the motto of the Life magazine.
True.
There's a lot of Life product placement in the movie. The movie's like sponsored by the magazine because he works there. It's his whole. I forgot if we even mentioned that, but yeah, he works for Life magazine. That's where he's at. Anyway, he ends up like seeing, maybe briefly talking to Kristen Wiig's character, who is the woman from eHarmony that he's been trying to send a wink to. Oh yeah, that was with the Major Tom moment. He's like just looking at her from the coffee machine, like watching her talk to someone else and listening to her. And she mentions how she likes. She made a joke. Yeah, she made a joke when her friend's like, "How was your weekend?" She's like, "Oh, I like listened as my Spanish mountain climbing lover like recited poems to me." And then Ben Stiller has a dream where he like breaks through the wall as a Spanish mountain climber and like recites poetry to her. And
it's pretty funny.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I think essentially what happens. Oh yeah, please.
I think I know specifically. After that, he goes out for lunch or whatever. Like in the middle of the workday, he goes outside, sits outside by the fountain in the front of the Life building, and he's looking at the thing that Sean sent him with all the reels and the little.
There's only like 3. According to Hernandez, who mounted the film, there's only 3 printable pictures, and they're just like, one's like an up close. They're all black and white film. One of them's an up close of a thumb. One of them is like some weird pattern, and one of them is just some up close of some weird object. We don't know what they are. And yes, you're right. It shows Walter one of the coolest transitions in the movie is like this, like after the meeting with Adam Scott, he's like back in the room, I think, with Hernandez, where he's like, yeah, I can't find it or something. It's like some establishing scene or something like that, and it shows like an up close of them looking at the film, and the like, if you know what film looks like, it has like the square in the middle and like the black outline and like the holes down the side for like running it through the machine, and it's like an up close of that, like fades into like a similarly shaped top down aerial view of the fountain, and it like looks like the exact same. Is insane.
Yeah.
And it's him sitting on the edge of the fountain looking at printed out blown up versions of those 3 printable images, and he's trying to, I guess he's like looking through like tiny little loops. Cheryl Melhoff, Kristen Wiig's character, approaches, and she's like, hey, what are you looking at? And he's like, oh, just looking for some clues. And she's like, oh, I'm taking a class on writing mystery novels. Maybe I can help you. And she looks at it, and she's like, yeah, it's a thumb, a weird object, and then the pattern we're revealed looks like water from an aerial view.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, that's what it was. It's revealed to be water in that transition. The transition is an up close of that picture, and the picture of the water turns into the water of the fountain, and the outline of the film becomes like the actual fountain itself. Anyway, she's like, yeah, I wish these clues could be more helpful, but they're not. And that kind of establishes their relationship, right?
Well, they also,
as like,
I think after that they go. Is that with her son in the park, the skate park, where he's?
I don't think so yet.
Okay.
Damn, bro, I wish I had fucking like a scene by scene synopsis of this shit.
I think it must be pretty soon after that though, because there's not much time before he takes the plane. Like,
that's true.
Well, no, also
essentially
his sister and his mom, probably, right?
So true. So I look up the script, but it's not really helping very much.
I mean, I could probably just pull up the movie. Okay, yeah, immediately after the fountain scene, he goes with his sister to look at where their mom is going to be moving. Or her mom is moving, his mom is moving from. It's there that we see that, learn about his dad, because they're going over all the old stuff. So there's like the newspaper thing of him and his dad winning the skateboard thing. We see that he has a mohawk. And I think that all this stuff, like, is actually pretty important for the movie because it signifies, like, how he originally lived a more adventurous life before his dad died, and how that one event kind of changed the trajectory of his life, and how the whole theme of the movie is like rediscovering yourself and / evolving. So I thought that was really, really works for that. But yeah, after that scene, he goes back to Life Office. They figure out that there's like a Norwegian word on the picture of the water. Kirking, yeah. Oh, and okay, this is where. So when he was with his mom and his sister, or sorry.
Oh wait, you're right. It is. It is.
Oh, okay.
So true.
When he's with his mom and sister, it's his birthday. By the way, that day was his birthday. Of course, no one knew it was his birthday besides his sister. She gives him that, what's it called? The doll, the stretch doll that they had from childhood, and a cake. He brings that stretch doll and cake back to the office because he had to get back to work, I guess, that day. And Adam Scott gets in the elevator with him as he's holding the doll and the cake, and he's like, "Hey, what's up, cake man? Where's my picture?" And he's like, "It's being bathed," or well, he comes up with another excuse
for why the silver bath.
Yeah, it's in a silver bath. Yeah.
First of all, I would like to acknowledge, I think I just messed up when I first started talking about the beginning of the movie when I was giving the synopsis, because I said the birthday thing happened at the beginning, which I guess didn't. Was that not the first day he went into work? I guess not, because he didn't have the doll.
Yeah, must have been the next day.
But Oh, he got the cake the first day. Right?
Oh, true.
He got the
True.
doll
Yeah.
later.
He calls him Cake Man first.
Cake, yeah. I'm looking at the script on dailyscript.com.
No way.
This shit is not the actual movie, bro.
Yeah.
I don't understand where this shit's coming from. Like, am I out of my mind? Like, it is clearly the same movie because it has, like, Todd Mahar from eHarmony, like, talking to him. But then it also has this, like, it's like the it's like the description of, like, the actions. And it's like, as Walter stands to go, outside the Starbucks window, a grand piano exploded from Walter's head, falls from the sky onto the middle of 53rd Street.
Interesting.
Walter's out on 6th among a crowd, waiting for a light to cross, when a black and white New Orleans jazz funeral procession passes in front of him. Black and white in the sense everyone in it and all their instruments and lively waving umbrellas are in black and white. Walter and the business people around them are in color. Credits end. What?
What the fuck?
What is this coming from? Is there like a hidden deleted scenes or some shit?
Someone must be bullshitting for some reason.
Just fucking create. This is like the 6th page out of 120 of this movie script. Who came up with this?
Who the fuck knows?
Did they just like fan fiction their own version of it? But wait, hold up. Maybe they literally did. Who made this movie besides Ben Stiller?
Someone, I don't remember the name. A few people.
Was it Steve Conrad?
From Shrek.
Wasn't there someone named Vernon?
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't there someone named Conrad?
Oh no, it is. It is. He wrote the screenplay and the story.
Here.
Steve Conrad. So that isn't even like, what the hell is this, bro?
Bro.
Walter Mitty, 30s. I don't think so, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, no, bro, I don't know. Where were we?
The little doll, the Stretch Armstrong.
He has a dream in the elevator where he picks a fight with the boss over the doll, making fun of the doll, and then it becomes like a superhero movie, and they like fly out of the building onto a truck in the street and have this insane fight as the truck is barreling through the streets of New York with the doll. Cut to, it's of course a dream. Adam Scott fucking leaves.
It's like, next time I see you.
Is that this time when he says that?
Fuck, dude, I don't know.
No, it's not. All right, because what happens next is he meets up with Cheryl again. They get, the chemistry really gets going. They're walking through the streets of New York. They go to the skate park. He meets her son. We get a little more of a glimpse in Walter's past because he's like, I was actually pretty good at skating, and does some like insane tricks behind Cheryl's back when she's on the phone with her ex, which is pretty funny.
Almost like one of the first examples of something that could be a dream but actually wasn't.
Exactly.
Like the way it looks, it's almost surreal because he's like unfocused in the background doing like absurd.
It's also not Ben Stiller. Like I read that it's like one of the, I don't know the name, of course, but it's like one of the best skateboarders in the world. They got to do that. Just like dress
Tony
up
Hawk.
like them. No, not Tony Hawk.
Steve-O.
It's Steve-O. No,
that's funny.
But I like that. I like that sense in this point in the movie going forward for a bit, where it's like you're like, this guy's really going to Greenland. When's he gonna wake up? It's like
you don't know. You know what I mean?
I love that. It's such a great like concept. Like to keep you guessing. Like it's so good. So yeah, he meets up with her.
No, sorry.
No, please.
You're doing way better than me, dude. I'm clearly just so bad at remembering the exact timeline of this movie.
Well, they have he has another dream when he's in the park with her where he's like it's so funny. Possibly the funniest dream. Where he's like, turns into a dream and he's like up close to her and he's like, I really want to be with you. And I'm Benjamin. I got Benjamin Button's disease.
Yeah. I don't really know how it works because I never saw the movie, but I have it.
Yeah. And then he just turns super old and then it cuts to like the future where they're both old, but he's also like the size of a baby.
If you've seen Benjamin Button,
If you've seen Benjamin
obviously,
Button.
The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, if you will.
Very curious case. Just a very, very comedic dream to happen.
True.
Okay, so then he goes. So then he's like, because they're still working on all the clues of this, and he's like, yeah, it's like some sort of Norwegian word or something. We traced something. He's like, I traced it to Greenland, something, and she's like, well, you should just go to Greenland, and he's like,
Well, what is?
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
If you want me to.
Yeah, please.
So
please.
there's a word. They can tell in the picture of the water. There's like a word reflected in the water from like the side of a boat or some shit, and it's like this weird Urkic snack, like unrecognizable. And Cheryl has checked with her friend Peggy, who sends out paychecks to Sean Penn's character. Where has she sent the checks to? Because the whole thing is they can't find 25. They need to find Sean Penn. That's why he's looking at these pictures. He's looking for clues. They're trying to figure out how can we get number 25 so he doesn't lose his job. Because clearly Adam Scott wants his quintessence.
Yeah.
And Kristen Wiig's like, yeah, my friend, she tracked him down to either 2 locations in New Jersey. And Ben Stiller's like, oh, cool, a train ride. And she's like, or Greenland. And he's like, Greenland, the country? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, first of all, I might be wrong. I thought Greenland was just a territory of Denmark. I don't know if it's actually a country or not. That's another point. They're like, what? It could be either one. And he's like, yeah, well, let's hope it's New Jersey. And then she's like, okay, yeah, sure. And then she Googles Erkigsneck, and it's like a boat from Greenland. And he's like, I guess it is from Greenland. So he's like, yeah, I guess I can't get it. And she's like, what do you mean? Oh, also, in the intro scene where he's looking at her eHarmony profile, it says like the 3 things she likes is like bravery, imagination. No, it's like bravery, adventure, and creativity. Adventure, bravery, creativity, the ABCs, as he calls it.
Mm-hmm.
And he really wants her to like him, obviously. So she's like, you should go. Why not? Just go to Greenland. And he's like, oh, maybe I should. So he does, right?
Well, yeah, because like he goes back to the office next day, and that's when Adam Scott's like, so next time I see you, I'm gonna have the picture, right? Repeat after me, and like you like make some promise. And then Ben Stiller goes down to the warehouse thing. He like doesn't know what to do. Clearly, he's like fucked. Looks at the picture of Sean Penn, and Sean Penn's picture is like this. He's like, it's like really suspenseful, like dramatic music. He's like, for audio listeners, he beckons towards the just like come, you know.
It's badass. Let me just say that's also the clip they use for the live video of the menu on the DVD version.
No way.
And it has the music. First of all, the soundtrack is fucking insane. Jose Gonzalez
the soundtrack
does like
crazy.
It's so good, dude.
Both the score and the songs used.
That's I was about to say. It's like half original score, half like indie like songs, I guess. Just like very well placed, dude. Shit's so good, bro. And that there's like a recurring like I don't know, musical motif, which is this like humming done by Jose Gonzalez that appears in a lot of the tracks, and it's like kicking in with this like ambient kind of acoustic music as like Sean Penn's like beckoning him into the fucking picture. It's awesome. So sick, dude.
Yeah. So that's the moment he decides he's gonna do it. Goes to the airport, and when he's going to the airport, we see the life motto in different like things.
So true.
Well, first of all, you get the scene of him running out of the office with all the magazines on the wall, and it's like all these iconic covers of like Marilyn Monroe, like the moon landing, all this. Not the moon. Well,
Morgan Freeman. I think he's one of them.
It gets to the last one, and it's Ben Stiller's as an astronaut, and it's like makings of a man or something, like makings of a brave man. That's what it is.
Right. Yeah.
Well, astronaut Walter Mitty. Then we go to the airport, all these like little pieces of the motto are everywhere. It's like he's in the terminal, and it's like things dangerous to come to, and it's like he's getting a ticket, and the lady behind the lady, the lady, it's like to see behind walls, and it's like all the little pieces of the motto up to the point where he's taking off in the plane on the runway.
The fasten seatbelt lights are like showing the
Yeah.
life motto, and it's this like hilarious shot that pans the entire 3-row airplane seating, and the entire left section's empty, the entire middle section's empty, the entire right section's empty except him and one other passenger right next to each other, like crammed into 2 seats next to each other.
But then they also make friends because when they get out of the thing, they like shake hands.
True, he didn't even seem upset about it.
No, it
like,
was great.
When he was sitting there,
I
he
will
was
say,
like,
yeah. Sorry.
No, that was it.
I was gonna say, I will say, there was only one moment. Not that I mind. I truly could not give a shit. I like reading the things. I don't get the people who are talking about product placement. I don't care. It never felt like that to me at all. Besides this one shot. Again, I don't care, but it was funny. He's like in the airplane, looking out. It's Greenland, and then it shows his tray where he's the food tray in front of him. It's like the most beautiful shot you've ever seen of like a breakfast. It's like there's these like cookies, and there's like a shadow. I'm looking at the thing right now. It's like a shadow casted over it. These cookies and this beautiful orange juice. Yeah, the coffee, some berries, and then right there under the napkin where the drink is, it says Air Greenland. It's like clearly an Air Greenland.
That's hilarious. I didn't even notice that example. I do remember the breakfast scene. I remember thinking it looked like, dude, I have this thing. I love airplane food. I love the meals.
Interesting.
Unpopular opinion, I got into a whole like debate about it at a Halloween party on Sunday, but the point is, I love the concept. I don't know why. Maybe it's literally just like some form of like fucking sensory autism or some shit. But I love the. You just have so many tiny examples of different things. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like a sense of progression. You're like eating this. You're like, okay, you got like the fucking meal. You get the little piece of bread. You get the little piece of cheese. You got the little fruit cup. You got the little dessert cup.
Yeah.
And it's always like you're so fucking hungry on this flight. You're like, it's just so satisfying when they fucking deliver it to you, bro.
That's fair. No, I mean you're making it sound pretty appealing. I sent you the picture.
Sometimes you'll get a lame mail. Oh yeah, please. Where'd you send it to?
On Discord if you want to check it out. But I mean, I'll keep going until you see it. So he lands. They shake hands. He goes to rent a car. It's like I'm here to rent a car, and
that's a good scene.
And the guy's like, we have 2 cars. We have a blue one and a red one. He's like, I'll take the red one. Which, of course, in film, there's always the classic blue and red motif. Most famously in The Matrix, pick the red.
Most famously in Red versus Blue by Rooster Teeth.
Jesus, it's a deep cut.
Dude, can we do a Red versus Blue episode?
Sure. So yeah, he goes to the local bar to try to find Sean. Starts asking around about him. There's this insane
the coffee scene, by the way. The picture. It is a very nice shot.
Isn't that like an insane shot to be in a movie?
Dude, the coffee looks so good.
It looks so insane. It makes me hungry. Like,
yeah, no, seriously.
Maybe that should be the cover picture of this.
Dude, I'm telling you, dude, there's something about breakfast on an airplane. That's the best one.
What was I saying the other out of context thing would be? Do you remember?
Oh shit.
Okay, think about it. Just think about it.
It was 2 Crabs by Vincent Van Gogh.
We're gonna do an out of context because there's too many good ones.
Yeah, definitely.
If you think of any other ones that we've mentioned, let me know. Like things that could be it.
Well, we got at least. We'll probably have one for Meyerowitz. Anyway.
True. All right.
The 2 cars.
2 cars. Yeah. He gets the red one. Goes to the local bar. Starts asking around about him. There's this drunk guy singing there, who he almost gets into a fight with because he won't sing with him. Right.
Yeah. He like literally has Ben Stiller's head against the bar with a broken glass about to
he's going to kill him. He would die. Yeah.
And you think you're like, is this a dream? Is he about to wake up?
Is he about to wake up? Is he about to wake up? I literally thought
like he's getting into a fight because this drunk guy's like, sing this song with me, and Ben Stiller says he does. Ben Stiller literally does sing it. He sings it.
I was swearing.
But the guy and he's like, that was awful, and then tries to kill him, and you're like, what the hell? This has to be a dream, but it's not, and he doesn't wake up. and instead stops the guy moments before death when he recognizes his thumb ring as the picture of the guy's thumb of the 3 pictures sent by Sean Penn. And he's like, it's coming together. Cut to them like drinking beer together, like at a table. And this is when it really, more so than ever, starts to become like, is he dreaming when this shit happens? Like,
Yeah. Well, it's kind
he
of like
gonna
his
wake up?
final dream in retrospect, right? I don't think he
Yeah.
dreams again in the movie.
I also think that might be true.
Because so he's sitting there and the guy's like clearly like plastered and is like, yeah, we can go to I'm heading to the ship in 10 minutes to fucking drop off some radio supplies.
Yeah. He's like, that ring. Did Sean Penn take this picture? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, where is he? And he's like, he's out on a boat. And he's like, can we call the boat? And he's like, nah, the radio's broken. That's why I'm bringing them these radio parts right now in 5 minutes. He's like a mail pilot who delivers mail via helicopter to offshore ships.
He's like, you can
And
come
he's
with
like,
me.
Yeah. And Ben Stiller's like, I'm not gonna come. Because the guy's literally like can't even stand up straight drunk.
Yeah, and he
Oh,
also
dude,
drinks
they had this-
another.
Yeah. There's like the scene where they're like look at the window and Ben Stiller's like, you're gonna fly a helicopter in 5 minutes. And he's like, yep. And he's like, looks like a storm's coming. He's like, yep. It looks like a bad storm. Yep, that's why I've been drinking the beers. And then that's when Benster's like, yeah, I'm not going.
Yeah. So yeah, the guy leaves to go start the helicopter and go on his own. Ben Stiller, you see behind him suddenly appears Kristen Wiig. She's like, I'm doing the song for one of my favorite scenes in the movie, actually. But yeah.
Also really well shot where he's just like, it's showing his face and then blurred in the background, you can't even see it. You just see like a woman step up to the karaoke mic and then you hear her voice and obviously you recognize who it is.
Yeah. She's like, this song is for Walter Mitty, he knows why. And then performs Space Oddity. Which of course makes him realize that of course he has to do this. And she performs it following him as he jumps slow motion into the helicopter as it takes off. And the song escalates. It's awesome. It's just great.
Yeah, the song like fades from Kristen Wiig into the actual original recording. As he's slow motion diving into the taking off helicopter.
And of course it's like so like, I mean maybe it's obvious, but like symbolic, like the way she kind of like it fades into the song and she disappears. He's finally like escaping this life he's been living with the dreams and stepping into an actual adventure. You know, it's so like, God, I don't know if this is like too cheesy for normal people. Maybe it's just you and me, but like I don't know. I love it. It's
sick. It's so good. It is. And like, dude, the colors when he's in Greenland, they're all like it's like everything is like overcast and like darker. It's just still so satisfying.
Yeah.
No, it looks awesome. I love that aesthetic of like the dark green of the grass and like the black of like the road and like the volcanic rock and the fucking like, gray water. It's so good. And when he pulls up to the bar, I just want to point out like a really cool shot is like he pulls up to the bar and there's just like this like lot across from the bar that's just like grass lot with like a bunch of boats in it and like a rack of like drying dead fish. And the lot is full of stray dogs, which are like in and among the boats, just like barking.
Yeah.
And then later, when he's at the table with the guy after they got into the bar fight, you can see out the window is the lot, and you like see the dogs with the like fish. I don't know, it's just sick.
It's a good point. Yeah.
And I also think there's like a close up, just like establishing shot of just like the drying fish on the rack, like later, just like. A nice little couple seconds. Anyway, I just think it's really cool. I just like to see him in Greenland a lot.
Yeah, no, Greenland's awesome in this movie. But yeah, so he's in the helicopter and they go to the boat. Great scene. It's like I feel like you also don't expect it because we just had this really epic scene of him like literally accepting the call to adventure. And it's like he's gonna this is crazy. He's gonna jump into this boat, and even then you're still like, is this a dream? And he's like, he's gonna jump into this boat, and you see they bring the little boat out to the helicopter, and he's like,
Yeah.
Walter, you gotta do it. You gotta jump.
Yeah,
And
he's
then-
like, you don't land on the ship?
Yeah.
He's like, no, you
Yeah.
gotta jump.
Yeah. And then he jumps the wrong way out of the helicopter towards the big ship and not the little ship directly underneath the helicopter, falling immediately into the icy water. And the guy's like,
Really cool shot.
Walter, no, I meant the little ship.
Yeah. And dude, there's that insane shot that shows like it's like super far, and you see him like fall into the water, and like you see him like let go of the radio parts, and they like sink as he's like pulled up to the surface by his
get a little
suitcase.
underwater shot of that happening is awesome.
It's sick. It's sick.
So they're all like, man overboard, and you know they get a megaphone. This scene is hilarious. Megaphone out to him. They're like, stay, you have at least a minute until you freeze. He's like, what? You're going to be fine.
Like the dinghy starts coming towards him.
Yeah, the dinghy starts coming towards him. You see a fin in the water.
Yeah,
and
there's
he's
a
like,
fin!
There's a fin, I see it. It's like, they're like, it's okay, stay calm. It's just a porpoise. It's just
do not fear the porpoise.
It will protect you from the sharks. And he's like, oh, okay. He just thinks, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And he's like, come here. And there's like this mystical music. It's like so classic. The mystical music playing. He's like, all right, come here, little guy. Immediately, a shark emerges from the water, and he's yelling, "It's
he,
not a porpoise! It's not a porpoise!"
Yeah, that shit's hilarious.
So it's just so funny. And he jumps into the boat at the last second before the shark would have killed him.
Of course, the shark only lunges at him like head on in a very predictable, easily combatable maneuver. It doesn't actually try and get him from like under the water or anything. Anyway, very fortunate because he gets pulled into the lifeboat, taken onto the main deck, and dons his most drip outfit of the movie.
Although he did lose an aspect of, because first of all, his normal outfit is pretty drip too.
True, he's got like the businessman aesthetic. Also,
the briefcase, death of the briefcase.
Dude, is that actually when he loses it?
Yes,
I know it shows him. Yeah, he has it and has a shark bite in it.
And it's like fucked up, and the guy's like, "Oh, American! Oh, you're American, huh?
Excellent!
Yeah,
the fans."
It's pretty funny. And then he's like, I don't know if he asked for the briefcase or Walter just gives it to him, but he's like,
no, he's like, do you want me to take that? I can put it over here for you. And then he does.
Yeah. But yeah, gives him the briefcase. He figures out his next heading, which is that Sean is going to be at a volcano. At this point, he doesn't know that it's an active volcano.
Oh, dude, there's an insane... Yeah, he's like on the ship. He's wearing the red sweater that the shipmate gave him, who says it looks good on him and says you can keep it, which very chill of him, and it does look good. It's like a Meet the Parents.
Meet the Parents.
Yeah, no, yeah. There's another movie where he wears some like insane sweaters, and I forgot to mention it during the episode, and I remember thinking like, shit, I was going to talk about his sweaters, but I didn't. I don't know what it was. I don't know if this is what I was thinking of, but I know he has at least one. And here's the thing: most of the fashion in Zoolander is intentionally really stupid looking, but I think he has one or two.
A lot of it
really
works.
Drip sweaters.
Honestly, I feel like a lot of it just works. Maybe because fashion has evolved now or something, but like I don't know. I feel like most of it works, and the ones that don't work is just like I don't know, like a little much. It's just like a lot of yellow or a lot of white. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Some of it's goofy as hell.
Yeah,
Dude, derelict.
You can derelict my own balls. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Greenberg is maybe his most dripless role of all time.
True, intentionally.
He wears like a childish like t-shirt. It's like one of those t-shirts that has like the colored collar and like rims around the.
Oh yeah, colored collar. His hair is like a lot of whack.
It shows him just like absentmindedly like cutting chunks out of his hair later.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Jesus,
that was like his most, and he just like threw the clump of hair like on the floor.
But yeah, so the boat docks, and they're like, "You better hurry up, man." Yeah, go ahead, please.
Shit, hold on, I drop something. But also, very important to the puzzle, the ongoing like mystery aspect of the movie. Okay, I keep thinking it's Norwegian crew, but it was from Denmark.
I
So it
did look
might
it
have
up.
been, or rather from Iceland, or fucking hell, from Greenland, which is a Danish territory.
I looked up that Greenland is a country in
Really?
the Kingdom of Denmark.
Really?
It's an
That's
autonomous
interesting.
country. So,
I literally did not know that.
me neither.
I take back the criticism I posited earlier towards that remark. Kingdom of Denmark. I wonder how that works. Anyway, regardless of that, my point is obviously Norwegian is completely different from that. But I also feel like I remember them saying the ship was Norwegian, but that could just be misremembering. Anyway, regardless, the guy who gave him the sweater is like, "You must be hungry. Have this piece of this kick-ass cake," and he hands him this piece of cake. And Ben Stiller's like, "Hey, this is clementine cake. It's the same cake my mom made me for my birthday." And the guy's like, "Yeah, cool. Anyway, Sean Penn gave it to me." And he's like, "Shit, Sean Penn gave it to you? There's writing on it. This must be a clue." So he reads the writing, and it's like this Icelandic unpronounceable word for Ben Stiller. He like fumbles through it, and the guy like helps him with it and tells him the actual name. And he's like, "What is that?" And he's like,
Volcano? Is that? Yeah.
Is that when he tells him it's a volcano?
I think it's a volcano, yeah.
Yeah, it is. And then he shows him on a map where to go. He's like, "If you go to Iceland, this is where it is." And he's like, "Can we go to Iceland?" And he's like, "Yeah, we have to, because you broke the radio parts." Or
Like, yeah,
lost them
sorry
to the
about that, by
depths.
the way. And like all the crew's looking at him.
Yeah, the Chilean deckhands.
Yeah. Then they dock the boat and they're like, "Well, you better hurry up, because there's only one bike and a lot of horny crew members here. There's one strip club, so they're all going there, but there's only one bike." So Ben
there's a
Stiller
foot race.
immediately outpaces all of them. Classic
Like,
Ben Stiller running
fucking
here. Yeah.
He like passes all of them who had like a 20-second head start.
Yeah.
Gets on the
Grabs
bike at the last second.
Yeah, starts biking.
And we get a very nice scene of
also Todd. Sorry, just want to say that Todd calls him before we forget during this part.
Okay, word.
And he's like, "Hey, Walter, what's up? So, did you want to finish up what we were talking about the other day?" And he's like, "Sorry, I'm in Greenland." He's like, "That's fucking awesome. I'm putting that in your been there, done that section."
Yeah, he was like, "Yeah, I just jumped out of a helicopter and had to fight a shark." And he's like, "You're daydreaming again." And he's like, No, it really happened." And he's like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
Adds it to his profile. Anyway, he takes the bike. It's got this really nice, scenic, like him just biking. It's like I love the aesthetic of just like the fucking overcast skies. The road is always wet, even though it's not even raining. It's just like everything is like moist. Like the grass is like fucking bright green with like dew on it and shit. And it's just him biking across like scenic Iceland, like by himself in these empty black roads. And it's got Dirty Paws by Monsters and Men playing. Very, very atmospheric, I will say. They did a very good job. It reminds me a lot of, I don't know if you've seen or even heard of The Big Year.
No, I don't think so.
It's a Owen Wilson, Jack Black, Steve Martin comedy about birding. Directed by the guy who did The Devil Wears Prada.
That's absurd.
Yeah, David Frankel. Dude, it's so good. It's one of my top favorite comedies. It's panned horribly. Dude, it was like...
So this is another watch situation?
I think it's better than The Watch, and I think people hate it more than The Watch.
Okay.
But yes, I think it's so, so good. But also you have to like birds and birding, which I do. And... I mean, you don't even have to. I don't actually take it back. You don't have to. It's actually just a good comedy regardless. Yeah. The three of them, with like supporting roles from Angelica Houston, Rashida Jones, what's his name? Oh shit, who played Jeff in Community?
Joel McHale.
Yes, he's in it as well. It's a fantastic movie.
I'll check it out.
Oh shit, who else is in it? Owen Wilson's brother, Andrew Wilson, I think, has like a very small role in it as well. And, oh, dude, Tim Blake Nelson also has a tiny role in it. Jim Parsons has a tiny role in it. And there's someone else I'm thinking of. who... Oh, I can't remember her name now. I'm gonna have to look that up later. But regardless, really good movie. Not as like cinematography like focused as this, but similar. You can tell they're kind of like I see a lot of parallels, especially with the way the music is done with like the scenery and like the atmosphere and stuff.
Mhm.
Anyway, I would highly recommend it.
That's cool. Definitely want to check it out. Um, yeah. Okay. So we should get back to the movie. We're only 25 minutes in. I just looked at when this scene takes place.
Fucking hell, dude. We're like 2.5 hours into the episode.
Yeah,
We're gonna have to
Jesus.
speed through Meyerowitz and the rest of this movie.
Yeah, to be fair, Meyerowitz. Yeah. Anyway, well, yeah. Okay, so he crashes the bike, starts running, gets to this motel where these people are packing up, and the guy's like, "It's closed. The motel is closed. Get out of here!" And Ben Stiller's like, "I don't understand what you're saying. Where's Sean Penn? Where's Sean Penn?" And then
Oh, he has an interaction with a little Icelandic kid.
Yeah,
who
he trades
just ridiculously trades his longboard for
Yeah,
the Stretch Armstrong
astounding
toy.
that the kid would do that.
Unbelievable, really. It's the
Yeah.
it's the least believable scene in the movie of all of the. It's less believable than the shark attack scene.
Yeah. So yeah, he gets the longboard, starts going down towards the mountain. Awesome scene, iconic scene.
Oh, dude, yeah. He's like this like intense music builds as he approaches a cliff edge, and you see like how far away the town is he has to go to, and it's all downhill. And it shows this like quick, up close, not silent, but like no like dialogue shots of just like him like picking up rocks from like a stream and shit, and like
Yeah.
ripping his tie. And like, what's he doing? And he fucking rips his tie in half to wrap them around the stones to make longboard like sliding gloves. I don't know if you've seen these before,
I
but
don't think so.
it's like a real thing. In reality, obviously they're sold as like real products, so you don't have to make out of stones.
Right.
But it's like a glove with like a hard surface here that lets you essentially slide on longboards using your weight and like turning.
It's cool.
Essentially gives you a point to like put your weight on the road, so
Yeah,
you
no,
can
I mean,
like
seeing
turn
him
a
do
lot
it
easier.
made a lot of sense. I was like, oh, that's
Yeah.
actually a really like insane idea to have.
It is cool also that he was like it's like a real thing. Like as someone who's been in the longboard community since before I watched the movie, seeing him do it was really cool. But also,
True.
I remember
Could
the
we-
first time I watched it.
Yeah.
What?
I was gonna say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I'd love to do a parody if we had done one for this episode of you just at FSU, just doing this scene just through FSU.
That would be funny. I
Dude,
don't
that
know
would've
how
been
to do that slide thing though. I can't
Damn.
slide, nor do I
Not
have
at
the
all?
gloves.
If you had the
Dude,
gloves, you
not
could.
at all.
Oh damn!
I've never done it before.
To be fair, I could not even stand on a skateboard and go straight. So I'm not
fair
electric.
enough. Dude, longboarding downhill is intense because you don't realize how small of a hill you need to get absurd speed. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and if you're not stable, you just feel starts to like shake. It's crazy. But I know my brother was really into it, and he was in college at UCF, and he had a pair of those gloves, real ones. He also had a pair his roommate made by like super gluing. You know how at Home Depot you can get like samples of like countertop material, so you can like bring them home and like look at what they look like in your kitchen, like little swatches. He took like chunks of that from Home Depot and like
Wow.
glued them on the glove to make his own. But
That's
I
absurd.
remember when I first watched the movie, Jonathan was telling me Walter Mitty's gloves wouldn't actually work very well because within like a matter of seconds, because his tie goes over the rock. Within a matter of seconds of like grinding on the road, it would just
the tie would
be ripped to shreds and the rock would no longer be attached. But
Damn.
it was very badass in the movie. And
Dude,
the
it was
music,
incredible. Yeah.
that it's playing like this badass Jose Gonzalez song while it's happening. It's so good. It's like one of the most aesthetic scenes in the movie. It's like unironically, as Connor notoriously claimed this was the longboard movie. It is one of the most iconic scenes in the movie.
Did he say that?
Yeah, remember we were on the
On another episode, he said that.
what was the episode we did with him where Casey hopped in?
Zoolander.
Yes, exactly. On the Zoolander, we were talking. He was like, "What's the next episode?" And we're like, "Oh, it's a series of Stiller." And we mentioned Walter Mitty, and he was like, "Oh yeah, he's like, yeah, I would definitely be down to like watch that longboarding movie." And it was really funny. I called him up. I was like, "You mean the movie that has a single longboarding scene in it?"
True. Connor has very selective memory.
I don't know. I mean, it is one of the most iconic scenes. It is also cool seeing him do like not just the sliding, but also doing like other longboarding techniques where you like bend over and like fold the arms behind your back. It's just like clearly somebody making this movie, someone behind the scenes actually knows about longboarding, which is a nice little detail.
Nice. That's awesome. But yeah, so he gets to the bottom of the where the village is, and there's like sirens going off, and he's like, "What's going on here?" And the guy from the motel pulls up, and he's like, "Eruption, like in Greenland,
erection."
And he's like,
"It's Iceland now, by the way."
Oh, sorry, Iceland. He's like, "What? Erection? What?" And he's like, "Eruption! Get in the car!"
Yeah.
And Ben Stiller like looks behind him, and there's like a plume of black smoke bellowing towards them. You also see Sean Penn standing on a plane, fly by towards
like
the volcano,
strapped to the fucking top of a biplane with like a mounted camera, fly like 20 feet over their head into the smoke of the eruption that literally just like exploded.
Yeah. So yeah, of course they have to escape, so they drive away. Then they get to civilization, and the guy's like, "All right, so yeah, this is it." And the guy, he's like, "Thank you for saving me." He's like, "Okay, well, there's a Papa John's right there. They have Wi-Fi there, or something like that." And Stiller's like, "What the fuck?" Goes to the Papa John's, sits down, calls Cheryl, and
True.
We get a little more details about this Papa John scenario. He like outwardly talks about how, life was different. He had a mohawk. He loved his dad. He loved his family. Did a lot of shit. Was a skateboarder. Then his dad died, and then he's like, that Thursday, I shaved my head and got a job at Papa John's.
True. Earlier in the movie, the first scene that you mentioned, where he like reveals that his life, he at least had the idea of himself of being more adventurous. Back before his dad died, his mom mentions, she's like, "Oh, you worked at that pizza place that had a very fatherly themed name. Didn't that make you sad right after your dad died?" And he's like, "No, Mom, it's Papa John's. I didn't think about that. Probably because I never called Dad Papa."
True.
But now he's at this restaurant, and he sees the cup with Papa John's on it, and he like becomes visibly perturbed, and it cuts to him outside where he calls Cheryl. And he's like, "Yeah, I had to leave the restaurant." And she's like, "Did you get kicked out?" And he's like, "No, it's just, the cups." Obviously referencing, now that his mom brought it up, it did actually make him think of his dad, and it made him sad. So, it was a good little line.
Yeah. So at that point, he flies back home. And
right, he gets a text from Hernandez saying, "They're going to fire me if you don't give them 25 tomorrow."
Yeah, but the text is in a mountain. Do you remember that?
Yeah, of course. It appears like...
I'm going to take a screenshot of it, honestly.
My headphones just died. Yeah, he receives a text and he's like, "Oh, gotta go home, even though I just missed Sean Penn. I literally saw him, but I gotta leave."
Yeah.
Out 25.
Hello? You good?
Yep.
Okay.
Did I just get quieter?
No, you're good. Sounds fine. So yeah, he flies back home. The whole building is packing up to leave because they're fucking all losing their jobs. And he tells Adam Scott that he doesn't have the picture. And of course gets fired. Then he goes to Cheryl's house because he wants to give the longboard to her son. And her ex opens the door, and based off him like calling her honey and stuff, he just gets like disturbed and it's like, oh, okay, like getting back together. This is fucked, and leaves the longboard there and just walks away, walks home. Then he's in the taxi, and actually, that's not. He has another dream, which is that he's on the Conan O'Brien show.
So true.
In the taxi TV, he looks at it. It's just pretty funny, I think.
It is. Yeah, he's like, there's some. You want to tell us about your love life, Walter? And he's like, oh, it smells like fire. And you see fire or some shit like that. He's like, so she was back with her ex, and she left him for you or something like that. And he's like, hey, listen. And it fucking shows, who's that? Is that James Corden? Who's that?
No, it's Conan's sidekick, Andy Richter.
Andy Richter, of course,
Yeah.
from Arrested Development. That's literally the only thing I know him from.
Yeah, he's like the sidekick.
You're
on the
awesome, man.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. He's like, I just looked at it. He's like, yeah, it's like, and so Conan's like, yeah, so with her ex, huh? And he's like, well, where there's smoke, where there's fire. Hard cut to Andy Richter staring at Walter with a huge grin on his face.
Yeah,
he's like, you're awesome, Walter.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's great. It's awesome.
Your delivery on that, where you leaned into the microphone and got really loud, it reminded me of Madagascar.
Yeah.
Hey there!
Hi!
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's funny. That is his another dream. After he's...
Possibly his final dream. I don't know anymore.
I don't know anymore what's reality. But I think it's pretty interesting that he starts dreaming again once he's been fired, and he's kind of like...
demoralized again.
He's demoralized, he's kind of given up on the adventure because he was unsuccessful, and now he's back to just... shit, I guess.
Yeah, when he goes back home.
Cheryl's no longer a romantic prospect. He no longer has this job. He failed at finding Sean O'Connell.
And failed Sean, because like for years
True.
he worked with Sean. Sean trusted him. And
He told
thinks
Adam Scott.
True.
16 years, and he's never misplaced a single photo.
And then he goes back home to his mom and throws the wallet out.
Yeah, out of spite. He's like upset at this. So he goes home, and there's a whole subplot of the piano that they're constantly trying to find a place to put this piano that his dad bought his mom before he died. And they couldn't fit it in the first room at her retirement home, so they got her a bigger room for it. And then they had to move it back into his apartment until her new room was ready. And so he gets back to his apartment right as the piano is finished being delivered. He takes out his wallet, tips the piano movers, and throws in the trash because he's
Yep.
Everything's over, and he's failed this, and he doesn't.
And then he pulls out that picture again.
Dude, so true. So true.
And
the third picture, we've already determined what the thumb
ring
was.
Yeah.
We turned out what the water was. It's the boat he was on. What's the third one? It's a weird curved looking object. And he's looking at it in his room. He's like, sad boy Stiller. And he's looking at it, and he like pulls it down, and he's like, wait a second. It's the piano. It's like the edge of the piano. There's a little nick in the wood. And
he's like, Mom, was Sean here?
Yeah. Was Sean Penn in my house?
And
Sean
his mom's
Penn's
like, yeah, he was here. He was chilling out. I gave him some cake.
Boom, it was the cake on the boat. It was his mom's cake.
And he wanted to take a picture of the piano, and he asked about your work schedule.
No, she took the picture of the piano.
Oh,
He's
true.
like, Sean, let me use his camera. I took a picture
I also
of the
think what's
piano.
important for later, she mentions that Sean wanted to know his work schedule and like his every movement, which I think becomes important at the end.
True, because clearly he wanted to see Walter. He came to the apartment, and she wasn't there, and he ended up having to give the gift to him through the mail. And his mom, he's like, well, I couldn't find him, so it was all for nothing anyway. He's off to go see warlocks or something like that. And she's like, warlords. And he's like, huh? And she's like, warlords. He's going to see warlords.
In Afghanistan.
Yeah, she doesn't say that.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, it's
But yeah,
absurd.
he's like, what? And there's like 3 words on the, he still has the piece of paper, I think, from the cake that had it had the name of the
Yeah.
volcano, and then it had warlocks, which it had a bunch of words that he was trying to figure out, but he couldn't place the meaning. And her saying warlords, it suddenly clicked for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he looks up the words all in a row, and it's like, I can't remember what they are. It's something like
It's
Buzkashi warlord.
Rajkawi Bukashi warlords.
Right. And he
then
looks it up, and the result is
ungoverned.
ungoverned Afghanistan. And she
Yeah.
like comes over and she's like, "Yep, crazy Afghanistan. That's where he said he's going."
And then
And
renewed inspiration to go chase this quest again. And brings
exactly,
a travel journal with him, which he documents.
from a gift from his dad that he never used.
Yes. And it's pretty fun. Not just funny, but it's a fun little montage.
Yeah,
Where he meets,
it's like
offers cake to the warlord. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, dude, that's such a good scene. Yeah, it's like a montage of him traveling through like Yemen into like the foothills of the Himalayas, and then up onto the Himalayas with like, I hired 2
little men.
No, I rented 2 little men.
Yeah.
It's like it's narrated, not even narrated really. It's just
the words are there,
explained as the words appear on the screen.
I'm given a mountain blessing.
Yeah,
he's getting hit with the branch.
It's like you see the handwriting of his journal appear in the sky or like the surroundings as it details what's happening, and it shows it very well shot, famously, of him like in the Himalayas by a river or like climbing past like, the prayer flags and shit like that. And it eventually culminates in a pretty funny little scene where him and the 2 Sherpas are like silently like trying to exchange like advice or like directions, and they're like pointing at themselves and then like where they're gonna go, and then at him and where he's gonna go, and it just goes on back and forth until eventually they part ways, and he continues and
climbs to the top.
Oh yeah, as you did briefly mention, one of the funny scenes in that montage is he like offers cake to the like Afghani warlords who are like on horse, and he like skewers the cake with like the fucking bayonet on the end of his rifle and like tastes it, and he's like,
Yeah.
It's like the Obama meme, like, not bad, and like tells him to go on. Anyway, he parts ways with the Sherpa, and as he's walking on like a fucking like super steep like a ridgeback, he gets a call from Todd from eHarmony, and Todd's like, "Hey, your profile blew up ever since that shark shit." And he's like, "Where are you now?" And he's like, "Himalayas." And Todd's like, "Wow, you just the gift that keeps on giving." And Todd's like, "You know what? You're like killer, but you know Cheryl took her profile down." And Walter's like, "Yeah, she's back with her ex Mordecai." He's like, "Listen, Todd, I gotta make some oxygen decisions, so I'm gonna go. Just take my profile down."
His
And
delivery of it is so good. He's like, "Yeah, Todd, I'm supposed to be making oxygen decisions." So
yeah,
the way he says it is so, yeah,
it's hilarious.
And then
And,
before
like,
he even
suddenly-
hangs up, yeah,
Go on, take it
I was
away.
gonna say, before he even hangs up, you hear, "Hey man, do you mind?"
Yeah, pans over to show Sean Penn.
Yeah, Sean Penn high under with a fucking blanket over him.
Yeah, he's like camouflaged as a rock, like taking photos. I think it's also hilarious that Sean Penn just like his character wasn't like at all surprised to see this other guy just casually hiking, talking on the phone at the top of the Himalayas.
Doesn't give
Really,
a
he's
shit
just
until he
bothered
finds
he's
out
talking.
it's Walter. Yeah.
Yeah, then Walter's like, "Sean, it's me." No, Sean, stop, it's me.
It's good. Fucking what happens? Well, yeah. So they meet up. They sit there, and he's like, "Why would you do this?" He's like, "Where's no, sorry." He's like, "Sean, where's the picture? Number 25." Yeah. He's like, "Oh, you like that one, didn't you? You like the quintessence of life?" And he's like, "Where is it, Sean? It wasn't in what you sent me." He's like,
Like, you're
it's in the
sitting
wallet.
on it.
You're sitting on it. It's in the wallet.
Yeah.
He's like, you left it in the wallet?
It's like, yeah, I thought it'd be cute.
Yeah, thought it'd be cute.
Too cute.
Too cute. He's like, that's not a good move, Sean.
Yeah.
And then they're just sitting there, and then Sean, explains that he's photographing a rare, like, snow leopard. No, the ghost leopard. Ghost cat.
It is the snow leopard. They just call it the ghost cat.
Yeah, ghost cat. Well, it's like, and there's a little, like, significance there, because he's like, I mean, I guess it depends how you interpret it, but it's like kind of like Walter Mitty's sort of like a ghost cat. You know what I mean? Like, because he's like he has a quote where he's like, the ghost cat, beautiful things don't deserve attention. What is it? Oh, God.
It's beautiful things don't like seek attention or like don't want to be seen.
Yeah, that's it. Beautiful things don't ask for attention.
Well, he says directly that number 25 is the ghost cat, right? Because
true.
He's like, first of all, Sean Penn's like, well, where is the wallet if you don't have it? And he's like, I chucked it. I threw it away. I don't have it. And Sean Penn's like, well, that hurts my feelings. It's like a good little scene.
Yeah,
and then they see the snow leopard in the camera, and Sean Penn has this. To me, I liked it, and I think he's a cool character, but it did seem kind of like trying a little too hard for him to seem like super like philosophical and like he's the ultimate, like he's just so based. Okay, I get it. They kind of got it. He kind of is. I'll give him that. But he was like,
I mean, it's a good mix.
It is.
Like the part where, like you said, where he's like, I thought it would be cute. Like, I think it also like,
I thought that was
like,
hilarious.
This guy's like it's funny, but it's also like this guy's obviously like a little fucked up in the head. Like, like
I don't know. He's just
he's zany. He's a character,
He's a zany character. That's the whole thing. He sends telegrams. He only shoots on film. You know what I mean? Exactly.
And he's like, all right, let's go play soccer.
No, yeah, it's so good. It's so good. He sees the snow leopard, and he shows Ben Stiller, and it's this actual, looks like real footage of a snow leopard. I don't know if it's special effects or not. That'd be cool if it was. I always thought personally, if I was going to make a movie, I want to include footage of like real animal footage of like really rare animals. I think that'd be insane. Because it's like, first of all, it gives me an excuse to just go out and like essentially film like a fucking like BBC Earth tier shit. But like, no, I'm using it for the movie, guys. It's for the movie. But I'm actually just in the jungle, just like looking at animals for fun. Anyway, he's like taking the picture of the snow leopard, and he never takes it. And Ben Stiller's like, "Are you gonna take the picture?" And he's like, "Sometimes, if I really like the moment, I mean, me personally, really just live in the moment. I don't want to be distracted by the camera." So he doesn't take the picture. That's his whole self-righteous moment. And then Ben Stiller's like, okay, cool. And then there's like shouting in the background, and Sean Penn looks over, and it's like this group of like Himalayan like people like playing soccer on this ridge, on this like plateau. And he's like, that looks like fun. I think I'm gonna go join him. And he stands up and he starts walking away, and Ben Stiller's like, yo, what was the picture? And he's like, why don't we just call it a ghost cat, Walter Mitty? And then he walks away. And then he turns around again. He's like, we're going to be odd-manned if you don't join. Cuts to one of the coolest scenes in the movie, in my opinion. Them playing soccer.
In the golden hour, too. Like, the sun is setting.
It, like, the
makes
orange
you
sun in the sky.
Dude,
it literally does.
Imagine
That's what I'm saying.
Like...
No, you don't think... Dude, I've literally been thinking about that since the first time I saw the movie. I was like, this makes me want to play soccer in the Himalayas so bad. It looks so sick. The fucking like orange sun in the background. The song "Don't Let It Pass" by Junup is playing. Also, Junup's lead singer is Jose Gonzalez, who does a lot of the soundtrack. I don't think this is original song for the soundtrack. Some of the music he's made is original for the movie. I don't think this one is, but it's so good, and it works so well with the scene. As like the scene slowly gets darker as they turn into silhouettes as like they play soccer, and it just like.
Do you remember what it cuts to? Can I tell you?
Please do.
3 letters. TSA.
Oh, dude. The most magical realism scene in the movie.
Dude, it's so absurd.
It is absurd.
It cuts up from this beautiful scene of them playing soccer as the sun is setting, fade to black, to an X-ray of clearly Ben Stiller walking
True.
into frame. All right, he walks into frame, puts his hands up, and the letters. It's like TSA security check.
It's like
And-
the X-ray, like
Yeah. So he's getting patted down. They find during the montage she was given a flute. They find this flute in his like back pocket, and they're like, again, this is all silent. This is literally all like silent comedy. It's like kind of like brandish, like, what's this? He grabs it and starts playing the flute.
Yeah, to like demonstrate what it is. He's like literally like, dancing like the Pied Piper.
Yeah, well, this is all insane because it has to be CGI. Like, there's no way that's an actual like they filmed
X-ray?
it. And, yeah, like it's animation, clearly to me at least.
You think? I thought it was like
I don't know, like
motion
I'm just
capped, and then they just like put over.
maybe I'm
X-ray
like scrubbing
filter.
through it, and it looks like inhuman the way he's bouncing around. I don't know, maybe I'm just
His dancing is hilarious.
yeah, no, it's awesome. And then of course this is like the most like peak Ben Stiller getting fucked moment in the movie.
Definitely.
Because
He looks
yeah,
so
go ahead.
Chad though in the next scene. I'm sorry, no. You're doing a great job of the.
I was gonna say like he tries to grab the flute from the lady, gets knocked backwards into a different TSA agent, starts
True.
to get like arrested, like kicks
He,
the
like,
other
kicks
one.
one of them, yeah.
Yeah, kicks the other one. She backs off, and he's like on the ground trying to get free, and then gets like pepper sprayed and is like just like crumpling on the ground, and then it cuts to black again. It's like so funny.
No, it's
Um,
insane.
Cut to him, like you said, looking incredibly Chad now. He's
He's
like
got like a fucking
tanned.
beard.
He's got a
tan.
beard going on. He's like somehow like more toned than he was. Well, I guess yeah, he got conditioned to climb a mountain, so
Yeah,
he's a
mountain
little more.
conditioning. He was
Yeah.
also dripping during the soccer game. I normally don't think this outfit is drip. There's
I know
two
what you're talking
instances where it is. It's that classic stoner hoodie
Yeah,
that I think usually looks
Connor?
like they're.
Connor used to wear that shit every day, bro.
I was gonna say there's two instances where I think it got pulled off, which is this movie and Jackson laying out in Connor Park. It's like the stoner
Dude.
hoodie.
I forgot that they wore the same shit. It's like the same thing, same color too.
I don't know if it was the same colors.
I
know
feel
what
like it
I'm
was
talking about,
always
though.
red in my head, but yeah,
Jackson's was red and gray, I think. I feel like Connor's is blue.
maybe.
Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, so it's the one with like the square repeating infinite square pattern. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He pulls it off hardcore in the soccer scene. Anyway, he's also I don't know if he's still wearing that, but he's dripping in this scene too, where he looks like a Chad. I just remember that.
Yeah,
He's
well,
in
he's wearing
TSA.
like a V neck with like the necklace, and he's
Yes,
got the
exactly.
shit, the wrist stuff. And they're like, "All right, sir. Well, you were trying to sneak in for whatever." And they're like, "Do you know anyone in LAX in Los Angeles that can vouch for you at all? Anyone who knows who you are that can prove you're Walter Mitty?" He's like, "No." And then he thinks for a second. Cut to him.
In LA.
Who do we know in LA? I guess we didn't mention it before, but during one of the phone calls with Todd, Todd's like, "Oh, I just woke up. It's 6 over here," and he's like, "Where are you?" "Los Angeles," and then like keeps going. But yeah, so it's a tiny detail if you
Big
picked up on
reveal.
that. Yeah. So Todd is there when he walks out. He's like, "Walter Mitty, let's get a Cinnabon."
Yeah. This is one of the more. It's just like I don't know how
It's
to
like
put it.
chill.
It's one of those like really satisfying scenes where
Yes.
everything has like come together perfectly. You know what I mean?
I completely agree.
It's like
Yes.
even though he didn't get the picture, it seems like he's still just like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, I mean,
He's just
thematically,
chilling.
he's found himself at this point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And he's with Todd, and they're just chilling at a
Yeah.
Cinnabon. And Todd's funny as hell. Patton Oswalt is great.
Yeah.
It's just. And okay. Let me also just say this: Ben Stiller plays this character so well. The way he observes other people talking to him, it like fits the like kind of like not like
That's a good point.
absent-minded, but like kind of like distracted, but also
Anxious.
yeah. I don't know that-
Maybe not at this point, but I mean during other parts of the movie. You know what I mean? Like
Right. It's
I
just
don't
like something similar in this scene where he's talking to Todd is the first scene where he's talking to Cheryl outside the fountain, where they first really become acquainted, where she's talking, and he's kind of just like looking at her, just like hearing what she's saying, but not actually like. It's like he's taking a longer time to process it, and it goes with the whole like dreamer aesthetic. You know what I mean?
Totally. No, dude. Ben Stiller's just an incredible actor. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't.
Anyway.
So yeah, they talk. And I think he mentions like, so Cheryl's taken, and you know what I mean. They just bring that up again. He goes back home. His mom fished the wallet out of the trash, which means he has the picture. He doesn't look at it, but he goes back into the life offices and gives it to Adam Scott. He's like, "Here's your quintessence." Yeah, tells him off. Or he's like, "I don't know, maybe you can sum up the speech a little better."
He's like, "Listen, this whole thing you do, where you come in here and take over a business and tell these people to go home, you have to. These people worked hard to be here, and they really care about the message. Do you even know life's motto?" And he's like, "Life. I'm loving it." And he's like, "That's McDonald's."
Yeah.
Anyway, he's like, "I know you're just following orders. You're doing your thing. You got to come in here. You got to make the boss man happy, but you don't have to be such a dick." It's good delivery.
Yeah. Pretty satisfying, you know.
It is a satisfying scene because Adam Scott's like in awe, and Ben Stiller's not like over the top about it. He's very just like straightforward.
Yeah.
And then he leaves, and it's him. Is that when it cuts to him with Cheryl?
No, it cuts to him setting up. No, first he's in the elevator with his stuff with the other guy.
Sure. You were a good boss, Walter.
You were a good boss. Then it cuts to him doing his resume, and it starts like Life Magazine, negative asset manager, 16 years, reference Sean O'Connell upon address upon request.
Yeah.
And then it goes quickly into like one of 3 known non-Navy SEALs to helicopter free release into gale force waters.
Yeah.
I'm reading this. In single day, biked, ran, and longboarded over 17 kilometers to Ijavaja's volcanic eruption, scaled highest peak of Noshak Mountain, on Icelandic fishing trawler, earned keep as boatswain.
Yeah. Unpaid laborer, right?
Yeah, something so he's like in a coffee shop, like typing all this out.
His resume, dude, let me just say, that resume seems like it would be so useless for like, I feel like if it was a real resume he was actually trying to get a job for in his profession, he'd probably only use that first thing as an actual like.
Well, the first thing is kind of, I mean, 16 years at Life Magazine.
That's what I'm saying. He would use that.
Yeah.
I feel like telling, if I put on my resume I was one of 3 non-Navy SEAls to jump out of a helicopter. Yeah, it's like they're not going to take that seriously.
Gale force waters.
Like awesome. even if that happened, they don't care. I mean, there's a few jobs I guess where they would, but also I just feel like they wouldn't take that seriously. I just thought that was funny and put that on his resume. It's obviously
so
the bit.
After that, he checks his email, and he gets an email from Cheryl's son who says, "Thank you for the board." And he's like, "My mom made a clip for me," and it's a video of him with a skateboard. And end of the video, Cheryl's like, "Hi, Walter." And Walter is like, I don't know, makes like a face. Goes back to the life office to get his final check. And when he's there, sees that Cheryl's walking out at the same time. And he goes to catch up with her. Big reveal, she's not getting back with her ex. The door is open, Walter. And now Walter's a Chad.
True. Yeah, he's like, "Oh, you're not getting back with your ex? Well, now I'm too good for you." Not actually.
Yeah, Jesus. That would suck.
That'd be so stupid.
But yeah, so they talk, and it's fun, flirtatious conversation. Then they walk by a newspaper stand. They're like, "Oh," Cheryl's like, "Oh, Life's final cover. They probably printed it today. Should we check it out?" And Walter, they walk up to it. Lo and behold, what's there?
It's got a nice zoom in, and it says, it's like the Life magazine. the final issue dedicated to the people behind the
Who made
magazine,
it?
the people who made it, and it like pans over to a zoomed out picture. The cover of the magazine is a zoomed out picture of Walter Mitty himself sitting on the steps of the fountain looking at papers. It's a big reveal. He is the cover.
The ghost
of the
cat.
magazine. He is the ghost cat, and he is the quintessence of life. And yeah, no, it's an insane reveal. And she's like, "Oh my God, Walter, I'm only gonna have sex with you."
What about when they're? What'd you think of the joke when they were walking away?
Yeah,
And
that's good.
she's like, "Should we go back and buy one of those?" And he's like, "Yeah, I just didn't want to look uncool in front of you."
He's like, "Yeah, I was probably gonna go back later."
And then they walk away and they start holding hands, and it
Mm.
cuts to the credits. I don't know what song that is, but it's a really somber song.
Is it another Jose Gonzalez?
I don't know what it is. I could not tell you.
Actually, I don't have that, so I can't pull it up right now.
Not that I don't like it. I think it fits. I'm just like, wow. Like I don't know. Like
Cue
I was-
Life in Technicolor by Coldplay from the ending scene of Night Museum 2, where he walks hand in hand with Amy Adams.
cue ending of Night at the Museum 1 where he snaps and turns off his flashlight as Let's Groove Tonight is playing. One of the greatest endings in cinematic history in my book.
No. The first one is
Oh, sure, you're right.
September.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, true.
The second one.
And he's sitting here and he's looking.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I love
I
it.
still have a bone to pick with Sean Levy about not using an Earth, Wind, and Fire song for the third night.
It's so stupid.
It seems unnecessary.
So
It's like,
stupid. It's literally so stupid. Why would you not use Boogie Wonderland?
dude, I don't know. Wait, did they use Boogie Wonderland in the second one?
I thought second one
Or
was
did they
Let's
use
Groove.
Let's Groove?
Let's Groove.
I know they didn't use one of the two, and they should have
How do
used
you
both of the
how do
two.
you not use the third trifecta of the greatest
the
Earth, Wind, and
trifecta.
Fire? Yeah.
Yeah,
God damn.
no.
All right, so we've hit the 3-hour mark and we just finished the second movie.
How? Literally, how did we spend this much time on Greenberg? And I mean, I'll admit, Walter Mitty, it's like
Walter
a passion
Mitty.
project of mine. It's
Oh yeah. I want to conclude by saying, at least for my part, I don't know, like just talking about this movie for this long, I really enjoyed it, and I was just like smiling the whole time, thinking about not only how funny it was, how endearing it was. You know, it's got a cool message. You know, it's nothing like profound per se for some people, I think, but I don't know. I just like it a lot, and I don't know. I genuinely want to add this to like my DVD collection. You know, like
yeah.
like I don't know. I love this movie. I gotta say.
It was great. It's just got such a it's such a pleasant
It's like
atmosphere.
it's pleasant.
To it.
It's got everything.
It's
got
just
the
so
comedy.
happy.
It's got the comedy. It's got the aesthetics. It's got the drama. It's got the message. You know what I mean? It's like you name it, it has it.
It ends with him getting fired. Not ends, but he gets fired, and it's still like
True.
a feel good movie. You know what I mean?
And yeah, normally I feel like I feel like you probably don't normally bite for the typical like feel good movie, but like this, I don't know. This was it, you know? Like
It really is just
Yeah.
all around. Dare I say masterpiece? Is this so far his best? I don't know if I'd say it's his best directed movie. I don't know. Again, also, I'm still kind of fuzzy in terms of what the different roles in movie creation actually accomplish. I'm not sure.
I mean, it also depends on just per person, you know.
Fair enough. I feel like the responsibilities in creative control that a lot of different roles have, I feel like blend together in my mind. And I don't know who does what. Like, I'm not really sure what a producer does at all. I'm not really sure. Like, where is cinematography and like director of photography and director? Like, where do they converge? You know, where does it start? When does it end?
Well, I mean, it really depends, I think. But I mean, for something like this where he's also starring in it, there's going to be an assistant director, you know, who's probably doing a lot of the shots when he's there. But then again, he's probably still planning the shots But of course, he's not the only one planning the shots because there's a cinematographer. Then the director of photography, I guess, just kind of backs that up. I think it's more like they divide. I think the hierarchy of it makes it more confusing than it actually is when it's more of a collaborative thing. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But like as far as producers, that also depends. Like for example, with the Severance series, like Ben Stiller's production company are the ones that got the script for Severance and decided they want to make it, and he produced it. Which means that he might have had some play to do with the scripts. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's very.
Who?
They're really.
Who did you say?
Ben Stiller specifically in Severance. So I'm just saying, like, it really depends. I don't know.
Right. There's this guy. I can't remember his name. It's like something that sounds like I don't want to offend anyone by guessing a nationality, so I'm not going to. But he works as like a music advisor or something. He does something about the music, and I've noticed his name accidentally in like several Summer of Stiller movies, and I've just started to pick up this pattern. And then I heard Owen Wilson. I was watching some interview with him, like name drop this guy as like, I think he worked on the music in like Starsky and Hutch or something. And I'm like, damn, this guy like, and I think he had something to do with the music in Greenberg and Walter Mitty. I'm pretty sure. I just wish I could find his name. He wasn't like the like creator of the music or like, fuck, dude, I need to find it. I'll try and send it to you later.
Okay.
Just out of curiosity, but it is interesting that this guy has like Ben Stiller music loyalty.
I know, that's awesome. We should definitely look into that. Okay, should we launch into Meyerowitz stories ASAP?
You want to try and get it done in like 15 minutes?
I mean, we could try. I feel like a lot of the plot is. I mean, we could sum up a lot of it because it is a little more meandering, not in a bad way, but
no, definitely not in a bad way. Oh fuck, are we gonna rate this shit, bro?
Oh, true. Do you want to just wait till we do this one then, since we've already skipped two?
Yeah.
Okay, so
dude, speed to the script. Literally, I'm gonna get some water. Be done with this. Be done with the story by the time I get back.
Done with the story? You're telling me? I thought we were gonna split it up. Okay.
Adam Sandler.
Okay, Adam Sandler. All right. Adam Sandler is separating from his wife. His daughter is going to college. Okay, in New York. So he takes his daughter to go to college. We open. They're in New York trying to find parking. Okay. Turns out first they're gonna go to Danny's father's house. The main head of the Meyerowitz family, named Harold. Okay. We're also revealed that Danny has a younger brother played by Ben Stiller named Matthew Meyerowitz, and a sister named Jean Meyerowitz. Now, Danny and Jean are direct brother and sisters, but Matthew, he is the half brother. He is the result of Harold remarrying like 10 years after Danny's born and having the kid. So there's some stuff in the past that's not really revealed right away. Okay. Now, some of Harold's work has been selected as part of a faculty group show at the Bard School, but he refuses to be part of a group show. So Danny and Harold attend the MoMA retrospective of an old friend and contemporary of Harold's, L.J. Shapiro. Now, this is kind of a reveal into Harold feeling like the art world has kind of forgotten him and that he's been underappreciated his whole life in his eyes. But he's also a dick to his children almost all the time. I'm at the part where they go to the thing, Justin, where they're in tuxes. Oh, okay. So Justin's having some technical difficulties, so he's gonna figure that out. I'll keep going in the meantime. So Harold feels the art world's forgotten him. Danny meets Shapiro's daughter, his childhood friend Loretta. But is forced to leave because Harold's pissed because he's upset that LJ's doing better than him. Now, Harold's other son, Matthew, he's much more successful than Danny. Danny has no job and is a stay-at-home husband for most of his life. Now, Matthew, played by Ben Stiller, is a financial advisor from Los Angeles, specifically to like rock stars and shit. So he comes back to New York to visit
Adam
Harold.
Driver.
Yeah, true. This scene with Adam Driver. It's pretty funny. Never thought I'd see Ben Stiller and Adam Driver together. So he goes to have lunch with Harold. Tries to convince him to sell his house and the work in the house. I mean, there's so many little things that happen. I don't know what I should be mentioning, you know?
Right. Because it seems like a movie where the plot is so heavily made up of the little stuff.
There's so much in it. You just have to watch it, really.
It really is so token Noah Baumbach.
Yeah.
It's it's all about just like average things happening.
All right, maybe we should just talk big picture, which is like, so Matthew starts like, after this day they have together, like kind of unloads on him and is like, well, you were, I had to live up to your expectations and all this sort of thing. Like, it traumatized me, and I beat you because I became a better worker, or sorry, like a more successful career. And cut to Harold in the hospital. He's had some brain issues. Do you want to pick up? Maybe you can do this better than me. I'm like floundering here.
This is the one I watched the least recently.
Oh shit. Okay, so
he's in the hospital. Oh, did you mention he had like the art show organized by the university he used to teach at?
Oh, the one that's going to happen?
Yeah.
No, I haven't mentioned that yet.
Okay, so there's the university he used to be a professor at.
I talked about how they went there for the other guy's thing.
That was not at the university, though.
Oh, that was not the university? Shit.
No.
Okay.
That was at some museum that if I was from New York, I would probably know the name of. It was some name drop.
Something. Like, MoMA?
I don't know if it was the MoMA. I know they do talk about the MoMA in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Might have been. Anyway. So the university he used to work at organizes like an ex-staff, or just maybe just staff in general, a show, so that other professors and other people who worked at the university who have made works of art are also going to be there. So it's not just for him, but he does need the exposure, and he was going to do it anyway. So shortly before this event was going to take place, that's when the brain issues happen, and Dustin Hoffman's character's in the hospital. And they realize the show is going to happen without him. So they have to go themselves. And Matthew, Ben Stiller's character, is going to be giving a speech there, as I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
He's a poster child. He's giving a speech in lieu of his father. And before this happens, they kind of there's like a scene where Danny and Matthew have like this conversation where it kind of like erupts into them fighting and wrestling on the ground, because they're like talking about how they both have their own perspective of how shitty their childhood / their relationship with their father is for different reasons, and like complete opposite reasons. They fight, they go into this speech, and it gets like really emotional, and Ben Stiller is crying, and also I feel like I haven't seen Ben Stiller cry.
True.
Not trying to be funny. I've seen him like
only something about Mary is the only one I can think of, where at the end he's like
yeah. He's like, I feel like I could picture him doing that. Probably happened in other movies, but I've never seen him do like a serious cry.
He did a good job.
He did it really well. I was like, damn. It looked like he was actually crying.
Yeah.
And Danny takes over. He gives a speech. And then his sister shows up. I think she also gives a speech as well, right? I think Jean...
No?
No,
she doesn't.
Damn, okay. That's my bad.
You're good. But yeah, he gives a speech. Cut to later on. Harold's out of the hospital. He's back at home. And Matthew comes to visit him it's revealed that the main piece at the art show, and this only piece that they still have because they ended up selling it, all the other work, was called Matthew. Turns out it was actually supposed to be called. It was based on Danny. It wasn't
Right.
Matthew who helped his dad with it. It was Danny because Matthew wasn't even born yet. They realize, and Matthew's like, "You should have named it Danny." He's like, "Yeah, maybe I should have. I'm going to sleep."
Yeah. Dude,
And then-
Dustin Hoffman played such a fucker in that movie. Holy shit. Dude, it
Yeah.
was like rage inducing.
Yeah, no, he did an insane job. Cut to Danny caring for his dad again. He's back at the house, and also him and Matthew are like all patched up at this point. The last thing they said, Matthew was like, "You should come out to LA, come hang out, see my son."
I'm
He's
ghost
like,
have a couple laughs.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, "Yeah, maybe I gotta take care of dad." Goes to see his dad, and his dad's like, "All right, I need you to be here because fucking my wife is, I don't remember her name, is going to
Thompson.
fucking Cuba, Emma Thompson's going to Cuba or something. So you got to be here to help me because I need help, even though I have a nurse here." And he's like, "Well, I was going to go to LA." And he's like, "No, I need you here. I'm asking you, please." And he's like, "Okay." And he's like, "Hey, there's some cookies in the living room." Goes to get the cookies, comes back and throws them onto the ground and is like, "Fuck you, I'm going to LA, Dustin Hoffman." And goes to LA, Dustin Hoffman. And
Nice.
and there's a little moment where there's this earlier thread in the movie where he meets his like childhood friend who is divorced, and they kind of have like a little interaction at the end of the movie before he goes to LA.
True. He
And then
tries to slide.
and I think it worked.
I do too.
And then the final scene of the movie is his daughter discovering one of Harold's like last existing works in a museum archive or some shit. So
True.
yeah.
Yeah.
We really
That might
sped
have been
through
at the MoMA.
that. True, might have been. Look, we really sped through the plot there because we had to, but also I think you just really have to watch it. There's so many. It really is like a tapestry, and you have to
It's
see all the pieces.
selected stories. You know what I
Selected
mean?
stories.
It wouldn't be the same if we went through and we're like scrubbing the movie and they're like, "Oh yeah, there's a scene where he loses his coat.
No.
Oh yeah, that's the one with the dog."
Although we do
Adam
that for
Driver.
all other movies, but it wouldn't work for this one.
We're 3 hours into this one, so that's the best you're gonna get.
But
we should really just call this the Walter Mitty episode.
True, Jesus. We have to, yeah.
Speaking of which, Tenzin said he wants. We talked about it briefly, and we thought it would be interesting if we did a follow-up Walter Mitty episode.
Dude, I'm fine with that.
He wants to be a part of it, and I said, first of all, I could literally always talk about Walter
Yeah,
Mitty.
literally.
And second, I think it would also be funny in sort of a meta sense that we've already addressed how much we've talked about it in this episode to then go on and make its own episode for it.
That would be an awesome Sabbath Stiller.
I think we talked about that for another movie where like we should do a second episode on this. Do you remember what it was?
Dude.
And I'm not talking about Justice League.
We have to come up with a joke to watch that for a third time. I feel like.
Jesus. No, we need Zack Schneider to come up with a joke to make a third version of it.
Sure, he probably will.
Sure.
Well, we haven't watched the theatrical cut.
That's actually true. That's actually so true. How long is it?
Much shorter.
Well,
Snyder, no, not Snyder.
Can't be 4 hours, dude.
Justice League 2017 runtime is 2 hours. That's half the time.
Damn. Yeah, half the time.
Look, okay, I'm not gonna lie. We watched Justice is Gray because it was our duty to, because we missed it. It was a piece of but it was a piece of content we didn't watch, right?
True.
Relating to that topic. Are we failing here too?
I guess. And how we can make it, I feel like every time we make it more ridiculous. That's what I think.
True.
So what if this time we watch the 2-hour Justice League and all of the precursor DC Universe movies?
Okay. True, because you haven't seen those.
I've seen Man of Steel, but I haven't seen any of the other ones.
Right, so just Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and Justice League. Oh, Wonder Woman does that count?
if it takes place before it, then yeah.
No, it's
guess.
after. It's after.
It's after. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's after. Wait, should I check or should I not check?
We'll check later.
Okay, all right.
Not on Meyerowitz's dime.
True. Not on Meyerowitz's deathbed as he fucking
Dude.
But yeah,
fucking Dustin Hoffman, bro.
I guess we should just sum up our thoughts, which is, did you think this was a good movie? This will segue into ratings.
Yeah, I liked it. I think Adam Sandler's performance.
Movie,
it was very emotional, and Adam Sandler's performance was S tier. That shit was so good, bro. I knew from the first scene. I was like, okay,
dude.
And also, I've seen Funny People, and I've seen Uncut Gems. I haven't seen Punch Drunk Love yet, but those are like the classic examples of like Adam Sandler in like not a classic like Happy Madison role. You know what I mean?
I think this is his
every time, bro.
Second best performance for me.
You think Uncut Gems is his first?
Uncut Gems is just.
I need to rewatch it. Last time I saw it was in 2020 when it came out.
I think it came out late 2019.
Okay, I knew it was. It was in New Zealand. It was like the same time as Joker. I remember that was like everyone was talking about it.
November, December.
Yeah, I haven't seen it since then, but I remember really liking it, and I do really want to rewatch it. But his performance in this movie was insane, bro.
Yeah,
it blew me away,
dude. Again, something else you wouldn't expect if you told someone, "Hey, we're gonna watch an Adam Sandler, Ben Stiller movie." Like, first of all, the fact that a normal one of those doesn't exist is crazy.
It is, dude. I was like, dude, the
chemistry
actorally work very well together, and it just the family was perfectly cast. It just is like the perfect, as I was saying earlier, it's the Jewish family, bro. I'm telling you, there's something about it. The New York Jewish family, bro. Also, reverse, opposite parallel of Greenberg, another Noah Baumbach, I might add. Ben Stiller, raised in LA, moved to New York. What's this one? He's a New York Jew who moved to LA.
Also, Marriage Story has them debating about, do we move to LA or New York? Dude, what is Noah Baumbach's obsession with the LA to New York move?
I mean, think about it. All of Ben Stiller's stuff is like either in LA or New York.
Yeah, true. But
I think it's the classic New York Jew in Hollywood. You know what I mean?
Because, yeah, true.
It's just, I feel like it's like David Schwimmer. You know what I mean? It's the same thing.
Yeah, the guy from that one show I can't remember.
San Diego.
Dude.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's the same. It's the exact opposite. He was born in LA, moved to New York, and then came back to LA for the movie. Ben Stiller, born in New York, moved to LA, came back to New York for the movie. There's something here, though. There is something here, and I'm going to ask Noah about it if I ever see him.
On one of the future Filmatics when we do an interview with him, you know.
Exactly. It's going to be like Hot Ones.
For his newest movie called, what's it going to be called? It's going to be like...
Barbie.
Is he... What?
What do you mean, what? Yeah, he's making Barbie with Greta.
I didn't know he was part of that. Okay.
Yeah, it's him and her. They're like co-making.
Barbie's gonna move to fucking LA from New York.
Well, something. Of course it's gonna take place in LA. There's no question in my mind.
But Ken's gonna be from New York, or
Ryan Gosling's gonna be literally from New York.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know what to expect in this movie because I don't know anything about the plot. All I know is I know some of the cast, and I know some of the creative team behind it, and it seems absurd.
Yeah, no, it's going to be really interesting, I think.
Noah Baumbach did Madagascar 3, didn't he?
He wrote Madagascar 3.
That's so funny to me. His dialogue is so, like... It's iconic. It's, like, very... What's the word? It's distinctive.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's very distinctive. That's why you can, like, tell... Like, how is that going to play in Madagascar 3? I wonder if it's going to actually be noticeable, or if it's just going to feel like another Madagascar movie.
I saw Madagascar 3 when I was very young, so I couldn't tell you. In fact, that's the only Ben Stiller movie I've seen in theaters, but...
Okay.
Now that I think about it. But,
Europe's Most Wanted. I still haven't seen it. It's like the Shrek... No. I guess it's like the Shrek 4 because that's the only
It is
movie,
because
quote
I
unquote.
remember. Okay, like I said, I remember not liking it. I'm gonna go in with an open mind, but I mean, come on, Afro Circus. Come on, kidding me?
Did Noah Baumbach write that? Do you think he's like da circus? Okay. The thing is, we're aiming to parallel the Shrek episode with the Madagascar episode, and arguably there's more content here because there's like 3 TV shows, like full length shows, or at least I don't know. I know the King Julian one has like it's like on Netflix portrayed as a separate show, but I think it's the same show, just like a sub season or some shit.
I think the original show premiered on Nick for 1 or 2 seasons, and then they picked it up on Netflix.
Okay.
Is my guess.
Because there's like the All Hail King Julian, and there's All Hail King Julian Exiled or something like that.
Yeah, the Exiled one's a Netflix one, I think.
Okay, so there's that full like seasons of show, and then there's also the Penguins of Madagascar show. And I've seen none of either, and I've not seen the Penguins movie either.
The movie is actually good.
Is it actually?
Yeah.
I thought it looked terrible when I saw it in theaters.
I will say, I can only vouch for the jokes. I remember there being some pretty funny jokes. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know about the plot. I don't know about.
Okay, I'm excited. I would
John
like to see
Malkovich plays the villain.
That's absurd.
Yeah.
Burn after reading tier.
Dude, Burn After Reading is awesome.
It's so ridiculous. Dude, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. So
Brad Pitt in that movie.
Dude, Brad Pitt.
One of his funniest roles.
Possibly his best. No.
Nah, dude, there's no way. Best role? I mean, he has so many. True.
We should.
Ocean's 11 is arguably one of his best.
So true. Should we do the ratings?
Yes, we should do the ratings, and we should do an Ocean's trilogy episode.
We should. We definitely should.
Oh, you know what that means? We're gonna have to watch
Ocean's 8.
Ocean's 14. Oh, Ocean's 8. That's what it was. Yeah, I didn't remember what fucking number it was. I really don't want to, but it's kind of our duty.
I remember when it came out, the reviews weren't terrible. Like, I don't know. I heard that it stood on its own as like its own thing, but it's like the parts where it's trying to be like, hey, remember that? Remember, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So.
Okay, Greenberg. 2 out of 10. Next one. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
It's worse than Reality Bites?
No, it's worse than Zoolander 2.
Yeah, Jesus, no way.
Remember we were going to give Zoolander 2 worse than Reality Bites, but then we changed our mind the last second because we realized it actually made us laugh at 1 or 2 moments.
Yeah. The fucking car crash scene.
Not the Fred Armisen scene.
No.
Rip Fred Armisen. I'll be honest, Portlandia was the shit, but his character, Mip, or whatever is Vip, not that good. Okay, Greenberg. I might go with a 5. I'm feeling it might be a 5.
What do I have on 5 or 6?
Okay. Little Fockers is 5, and that is it.
Okay.
The next lowest is a 6.5.
Which is, out of curiosity.
The Watch, Starsky and Hutch. There's Something About Mary.
All right. I'm gonna give this. Is it equal to Little Fockers? Is it better than Little Fockers?
Right.
I don't know. I feel like I should bump up Little Fockers up.
True. I feel like Little Fockers deserves more than a 5.
What did you give
we're giving it? I also give it a 5. I think that was our first episode. We weren't. We have to do this in the summary of Stiller. Though.
Yeah. Okay, let's not move anything around till summary.
Yeah.
For now, I'm going to give Greenberg a 5 as well.
Okay. 5.
Not to just agree with you, but
no, I know it's just part of the metric we've used for rating it. Literally every time is rewatchability, and I can't see myself ever watching this movie again.
That's fair.
Like I don't think it was. Like I said, I think it was very well made and very well acted. But
yeah. Whereas Little Fockers, I can definitely see myself rewatching. Like
just
I could see myself like opening Netflix and seeing little fuckers there and just watching it. Like
It's easy, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
And it's
Whereas
got
like
a lot of laugh out loud moments.
it does.
Dude, Owen Wilson on the fucking balancing beam.
This is Jack Burns.
Yeah.
Was
no,
he? Yeah.
He's like, fuck, what does he call him? Dude, first of all,
What about the end credits? We never even talked about that in the episode. I think
oh, what was it?
the YouTube poop before there were YouTube poops. Of
Oh yeah,
Jack
absurd.
Burns. Jack Burns. Like
yeah, that was ridiculous. I think we did talk about that.
where he probably a little bit, but like where he recaps the entire story of the last two movies in a musical. It's insane. Okay,
Dude, Ben Stiller might have invented YouTube. Did Ben Stiller invent YouTube poops in Reality Bites? Do you remember when she gives him her
yeah.
version
and
of
then
Reality Bites and he turns it into a YouTube poop?
yeah,
And then he clearly also likes YouTube poops enough to include them in Little Fuckers. I think he literally invented them, bro.
we need to investigate.
Okay.
What was the first YouTube poop? What year was it? Couldn't have been before Reality Bites because YouTube only came out in like
Yeah.
2005. But were there other things that were pre-YouTube poop? I guess is the question.
Someone says the first ever created by Super Yoshi in 2004. Seemed pretty unanimous. It's like from the old school Mario TV show, I think.
Oh,
Oh
searching
no,
up
it's from the Legend of Zelda.
Searching up Ben Stiller YouTube poop only found me a video from 2009 called YouTube poop Ben Stiller cannot get on a plane from that scene in Meet the Parents. Dude, we
That
should
is
watch this.
hilarious.
I'm putting the link in the chat. Jesus.
Yeah,
so I
good
don't
call,
forget.
good call, good call.
Okay.
So yeah, first one was from 2004, allegedly.
Interesting.
So I think he invented it.
All right. So that was Greenberg.
True. 5/5.
Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Dude,
No,
dare I give it a 10?
dude. I don't know. I'm feeling something.
Do we
Our
have
highest.
a 10 on anything?
What's the highest? Let's go by our highest. Now.
Dude, we don't have a 10 yet. But we both have
8s, right?
we both have a 9 on Night at the Museum. I have 4 9s though. You don't have any others. You just have Night at the Museum.
This might
which
be
is
my
kind of,
other 9.
I was about to say, it's insane that right now Night at the Museum is your highest rated one, which I know it is respectable, but still kind of crazy.
I promise you there will be a lot of shifting during the summer.
Yeah. Starsky and Hutch, Dodgeball, and Zoolander all got 9s for me.
That's fair. I'm gonna give this a 9, honestly.
I don't know if I can give it the 10. You know what I mean? But it is so
We'll see.
damn
When
good.
Summary of Stiller comes and we have to move things and eliminate them so we have a clear
True.
ranking, it's going to happen. So
The thing is, though, I feel like I'm going to give Madagascar 2 a 10.
yeah,
I can feel
I might
it.
give Madagascar 1 a 10.
No, seriously. Because the thing is, I
Like-
haven't seen the first Madagascar nearly as many times or as recently as the sequel. So I'm really
True.
looking forward to rewatching it because it's been years, and I just remember how nostalgic the New York scenes are at the
Dude.
beginning. We've talked about this so many times.
You left the ambience on. Sorry.
I got it.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, we also have to play the game. The fucking Madagascar game.
True. We also have to watch the video of the CD-ROM game I talked about. I don't know if you remember
True.
that, but yeah.
Marty, why is Shrek on a cruise ship?
God. Oh man, so much, dude. We have so much content to get through,
Oh, yeah, okay.
and we need
Is
to
it-
finish it before the end of the year. We have 2 months. Can we do it?
We're going to do like a Christmas of Stiller episode.
Well, it has to be before the Puss in Boots because the giveaway is Puss in Boots.
Fuck! Okay, when is Puss in Boots? When
Wait,
is Puss in Boots?
okay. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish comes out December 21. So basically the 23rd is that Friday.
Alright. We can finish by then. What is a good Christmas-themed word that starts with S?
Tis the
Santa. I'm
Santa
thinking like
still.
there's no, I'm thinking there has to be like a good like
Well, it also has to tie into
biblical word.
Madagascar.
No. So
Well,
true.
there is a Madagascar Christmas thing that was on the original DVD.
Of course.
It's called The Madagascar Penguins in a Christmas Caper. It's iconic.
Yeah. Saturnalia of Stiller.
Dude, that might be a good one, actually.
What? It is the 17th of December, so maybe we can do a special episode then for something else. Hopefully we'll be done with Madagascar by then.
Dude, hopefully it comes out on the 17th of December.
That would be insane, actually.
Okay, we have to watch at least 1, 2, 3 Penguins, 4 movies. Are we still doing Megamind?
Yeah.
All right, so 5.
Almost
So
Christmas Countdown.
5 full-length movies, and then we have shorts and Elmo's Christmas Countdown.
And
So-
at least new and selected episodes from the shows.
Right, so let's just say we somehow knocked all the shows things out in one night. Right, that's
Sure we
another
would.
night.
With
Plus
the shorts. We
Elmo
could probably do it with the shorts.
with the shorts. Let's just say Elmo takes another night just for caution.
Yeah.
7 nights.
Dude, isn't that like a Christmas-related number?
On the 7th day of...
Isn't there like 7 nights, or is that Hanukkah I'm thinking of?
I don't know.
There's like 8 nights of Hanukkah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dude, we can stretch this out, dude. We can do some Jewish Ben Stiller thing with Hanukkah. Also, when is Hanukkah this year?
No, we shouldn't do this. I was gonna say, what if we dropped each episode each movie is a different episode? No.
Yeah, no, probably not though, because since when have we done franchise episodes with different movies? You know?
No, yeah. The real thing we have to figure out is if we're watching stuff together and what we're watching together, and schedule.
We'll have to watch the base Madagascar movies together.
Yeah, it's a
No
must.
question.
It's a must, and the shorts because that's all YouTube videos.
So true. I mean, that shit also would just be not funny. Sure, it just wouldn't be the same.
And plus Elmo. So let's just say at least 5.
We could watch Megamind on our own if we have to, because
if we have to.
Ben Stiller's role in it is negligible, is borderline non-existent.
Yeah. And I'm sure we could. Yeah, no. If we can find a free night, we just spent 3 hours doing this episode. That's
True.
1.5 movies. So if we watch even 2 episodes a night to get the 5 movies, so 2 nights. So we just need to find at least 2 nights. We can
That'd
spend.
be insane if we were able to do that. I'm sure we can. In the
Yeah,
span
I mean,
of,
in the span of over a month,
yeah.
you would think.
We're dropping the final episode of the Summer of Stiller in fucking late December.
As long as we get it in before the end of the year, that's what counts.
True. I'm telling you, we need to get Colton
We
for
do.
the Elmo segment. I think it would be so good.
Just the Elmo segment. What an insult.
Right? No, it's an insult. It's just the thing is, I would say get him for the episode, but how
There's no
likely
way
is
he's-
it we're gonna get a guest? First of all, we've spoken to in like barely a few sentences. To watch like 8 fucking hours of content more. It's not gonna happen. So I
Yeah,
was
it's
thinking
not
like, first of all, it's a good bit, I think, to have him come on. I mean, it's funny. I think people would tune into the Elmo segment. I just think like it's like the kind of thing where like, people will go because it's like goofy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
We're
I
fucking
agree.
reviewing Elmo, dude. That's hilarious. What better segment than to have like the guest appearance? You know what I mean? And it's also like low investment on his behalf. He doesn't have to like put a lot of work into it. You know what I mean? He can just like
Yeah.
watch like a fucking, what is it, like 30 minutes or something? You know?
hmm
Also, if we did do the pre-episode skit, where it's
True. That's
the-
more important than anything.
the crate escape type deal,
Yeah.
when we have it shows like the thin, beautiful Jada Pinkett Smith as Gloria, and the David Schwimmer is that one guy from the show. And we're doing that. All of these different like characters he's listing could be like little clips submitted by like guest appearances, and like we can have people play
So
these
true.
characters.
Yeah, no, we need to work on. That's another thing we have to do is work on the script for that.
Yeah,
'Cause
which we
that
should probably
is-
start sooner rather than later.
Yes, that should literally be the next thing we do.
You should
but
put
yeah.
a poll on the Instagram, or not a poll, but like a survey or whatever. That's like, would you like to submit like a clip to be in that, just as like a, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'll write that down. Survey to some clip. Sure. Okay, so should we rate Meyerowitz and wrap this up? Dude, this is literally going to be as long as our Shrek episode. The episode that we
Why did this one
constantly
specifically-
goad as like the longest one.
Why did this one take so long
I
specifically?
don't know.
Like, I
I'm
feel like I
very-
couldn't picture us talking about it for that long. How
Yeah,
long were the
Green-
other ones?
We spent
Okay.
over an hour on Greenberg.
That's ridiculous.
I'll tell you, our last episode was 2 hours 14 minutes. 2:10. Then before that was
Yeah.
2:14. Even the live stream was 2 hours and 9 minutes. Cecil
Fucking
Stiller was
hell.
2 hours. Spilled Stiller was an hour and a half and 50 minutes because we split it up. Filmatic
Dude, you're-
Falkerized was 2.5 hours. I just want to say we've literally averaged two-ish hours.
Why did this one take almost 4?
Double. And this thing,
Why? This is like, dude, it goes to show how like thought-provoking Noah Baumbach's storytelling is. Because it
True.
really, there's a lot.
also, it goes
talk
to show that
about.
we hold. People might be forgetting because of all the Stiller stuff that we've been selectively choosing, but like we have some pretty good conversations on thoughtful themes and
I agree.
films. You know what I mean? Like other ones probably go faster because we're like, man, that was a great joke. That was a great joke. That was a great
Yeah,
joke.
yeah, we're like just like literally listing off the funniest moments in the
Literally.
watch.
Yeah, literally when we take notes, we just list our favorite jokes.
True.
So like, you know,
Yeah, I guess that's
whereas Shrek and the other longest one, the Batman, have been this long because we've been talking about the themes. So I guess it makes sense.
granted. I do know we spent quite a bit of time at the beginning of this episode just like talking about random shit, and
Yeah,
periodically
that was
throughout.
no. I will say at the beginning, I noted the time because I just wanted to see how long the intro was. When I said let's wrap up this intro, it was only 11 minutes in, and I know it was over an hour long when we finished Greenberg. So
Yeah, it's crazy.
I guess Walter Mitty was also a big chunk of that.
Dude, Walter Mitty really, we went hard in the paint.
We did. I'm proud of that. I guess we
Okay.
could split this one up, but at this point, I do it.
Meyerowitz stories, new and selected. Uh-oh. Oh, dude, again. Free up space to continue.
Okay, we better wrap up quickly so there's no issues.
Clear. Fucking Wikipedia.
Yeah, I don't know because I've never seen that message. It doesn't show me anything. But if we just hurry up, I don't think it'll be a big problem.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's just rate it and then bounce.
I'm gonna say, well, you first. Not that I'm gonna
Fucking
copy
hell.
you. I'm just.
Meyerowitz. That was good. It was good.
I'm-
Again, kind of a heavy movie. I think I would rewatch it, just not like a frequent rewatch. You know what I mean? It's also long. It's
I
like over
agree.
2 hours.
Well, it's also
I think,
like very
2.5
emotional.
maybe.
It's very emotional.
It
It's
is,
taxing
it
in
is.
that way. I will rewatch it.
I-
I just don't know when. I agree. I'm gonna say 8.
I was gonna say 7.5.
I'm gonna
It's
say 8.
really well made. A lot of
It's
really good
super well
performances
made.
as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 8 for now. I know we have to shift
Okay.
so much around in the summer.
Yeah,
but
no. 7.5. 8. All right. Here we go. On the schedule that you posted for the final episodes, did you include a upcoming summary of Stiller episode?
dude, you're so right. I literally forgot. Oh my god. Not that it matters. Literally, 0 people like that post. I'm not kidding. I don't know why. They just scrolled and saw a picture with text on it and were like, whatever. Or
Fair enough. I mean, I have noticed, or I had noticed back when I used Instagram, pictures that didn't have my face in it got significantly less likes. Not that I cared. I would still post whatever
Well, I mean, it
photo
makes
I wanted.
sense.
But it does make sense. I mean, I guess I don't know. Does it really make sense? If it's like a cool picture, if I was seeing it in someone else's feed,
Because people aren't there for cool pictures. Not to
this
launch
isn't
to the
yeah.
Instagram thing. They're not there to see a beautiful forest. Although
Fair
you would
enough.
think that would be the main objective of Instagram, a photo sharing app. But they're there to see if it's a girl, see the body. And, just saying, that's what people, couldn't be me. If it's a guy,
Bro, for your sake, I'm gonna say go ahead and cut that. Oh,
I thought it was a funny joke.
no, that was hilarious.
You know what I mean, though.
Yeah,
Instagram
no,
is just fucking bullshit.
that's why I haven't been. I've been so happy to not have it as a distraction since it got hacked.
Yeah, you might have lucked out, honestly. It's hard to get out on your own, You were like forced out.
True. Although, okay, get this. Did we talk about on one of the previous episodes about the text I received
Yes.
about this? I did, where the guy was
I
like,
think so.
I know I showed you. I feel like I didn't talk about it, but I might have.
Go ahead, just quick summary.
Right? The guy, I just get a text out of nowhere. I get locked out of my Facebook, by the way, which obviously, as we all know, is owned by the same company as Instagram, right? Or it is Facebook that owns Instagram, whatever it is. Meta. My Instagram got hacked, and now my Facebook isn't working. I'm like, what the hell? I tell you my password. It literally every single time I try to log into Facebook, I have to remake my password because it says it's been compromised, and it happens like 5 times in a row. And it lets me just change it, and I'm like, all right, I'm back in. Next time I log in, exact same thing. It's been compromised. I need to make a new password. I'm like, dude, I'm running out because you can't reuse old ones either. It's fucking annoying. I'm like making like a unique password for Facebook every time I log in. I'm like, I don't use this shit enough to do this. Anyway, I'm like, all right, whatever. Must be something along the same vein. Like my passwords got leaked or some shit from the Meta servers. I get a text from an unknown 402 number, which, if you don't know, I don't know why you would, but that's Lincoln, Nebraska. I get a text saying, hello, Justin.
Jesus.
I'm Ryan. I see your FB account is hacked. Be careful, bro. And then later, I obviously hadn't responded. Later, bro, your account is hacked.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
I'm like,
dude, can this be one of the out of context spoilers for the episode?
I was
You send
literally
that-
just thinking that.
send
I'll
that to me again?
screenshot and send it to you.
Yeah.
Because that shit is hilarious. I'm like, who the fuck is Ryan? How would he know that my account is hacked? No, it was just hilarious. And so, yeah, independently of that, Jessica right now studying in Brighton at the University of Sussex. There's a guy who, okay, I don't know how much this is cap because it seems almost entirely cap. It's this like foreign exchange student from India who he's a freshman and he's been hitting on her constantly, and he claims he's a billionaire. He claims he's a billionaire, and he gave a link to his website because he says he owns a company that does some. This will be an annotated bibliography, I'm sure. A company that does like some technology bullshit where he's made all of his money. And first of all, let me just say, if he was a billionaire, his website would not be as shit as it is. It is terrible, and the text on it is not. Listen, I understand English isn't his first language, but if you're gonna like tell someone you're a billionaire who made your money from this tech website, you would have grammatically correct sentences that actually make sense on your website, and he does not. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, something his website says that it does is help people with something called, what's it called? You might have heard of it. It's something hacking, but it's like positive, and it's like good hacking or some shit like that, dude. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jessica proposed the idea. We get him to
Holy
counter hack
shit.
my account back.
No. Let's do it. I'm willing to pitch in. I'm willing to pitch in.
I don't think we'd have to pay him if I go there because I'm going for Thanksgiving.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say Jessica should just lead.
She probably could. First of all, probably could.
Yeah, I mean, if she's willing, just be like, "Hey, I'll go to dinner with you if you do this." My brother just say like just call you like her brother, like.
Could do. First of all, he knows I exist. I've spoken to him.
Okay.
Ironically, he's one of the only people in England that I've talked to that she's like known because okay. I'll tell you the story some other time. No need to.
Yeah, it's fair. I will say, just speaking of sus Indians, I can say that.
There's a good delivery.
Speaking of really weird things that have been happening, in the last 3 days, you haven't seen this probably, but I posted this reel of Connor.
Hey, you guys. It's Connor David Carter.
Do you recognize this?
I'm sure by now you've heard of the...
Okay, I'll send it to you because it's kind of long, but basically Darian saw an ad for some like really weird mobile game and like made a copy pasta of the script and replaced it with Filmatic and had Connor read it. I thought it came out pretty funny, so I just posted it without context on my Instagram, right?
Okay.
Whatever, that's separate, but got like 3 likes, classic Filmatic. Whatever. And this was I'll tell you the date.
Hey, you guys.
October 9th. Okay, in the last 3 or 4 days, I've been getting likes on this photo. 27 to be specific.
Damn.
From random Indian accounts. Now, look, 3 or 4 of them are like bots, right? Clearly.
Okay.
But a lot of these are just real accounts of real people living literally in India who have current posts, right? So we're looking at Komal7509, at Chant Singh, at official Ram, at official Sonu, at It's Bama Raj, like all these random 27 it says accounts. What's going on?
Dude, that's so funny.
It's so weird.
The mobile game like tapped a market, bro.
And then I got one more like from a verified account at Mark_ILLY. It has the blue check mark. Mark Illy, entrepreneur, DJ, producer, designer, marketing guru, helping people grow on social media since 2012. Tap in. And it's followed, I didn't see this. It's followed, you might not know this person, by Taylor Reister. Do you know who Taylor Reister is?
Obviously.
Okay. What?
Yeah, that's absurd.
I didn't even see that.
He must be a real influencer, bro. He influences. We should get him to influence for Filmatic.
Dude. Where the hell were you?
It's just this video of a dog. Wait, look at this.
Where the hell were you?
Oh god,
it's
10 hours.
Unwatchable.
What the hell is a rave?
Dude, it's a video of a dog with a robotic voice. Where the hell were you? It's been 12 hours.
Yeah, okay, I could hear it.
Listen, that has 20,000 views. I think we need to partner up with this guy.
Nah, seriously, get him on the next episode. Ask him to watch Almost Christmas Countdown.
If he got recommended my reel because I followed Taylor, I don't know. How does that work? It's so weird.
I don't know how it works. Send him a message, be like, yo, do you want to play David Schwimmer in a short?
Dude, bet right now as an out of context spoiler.
Yes, please. Send him the message, and then the screenshot of the DM is the out of context.
Maybe Taylor will notice.
What? She'll be like, I know that name.
Like, I know Mark Illy. Yeah. Okay, what should the exact...
She is Gloria, bro. He just blew my mind. That was the face you just gave me.
Sometimes your mind blows my mind. Incredible. Alright, what should the exact wording should just be what? Hey, was wondering if you want to partner up for a skit, period.
Short film.
Oh, so yeah, for a short film, period.
Film project, maybe. That way,
True.
It's not
film
like an
project,
actual short film.
Break. Your role would be David Schwimmer. Or if you prefer, Gloria the hippopotamus.
Dude, don't say that.
Okay.
Should you?
Or if you, or I'll just say we could explore other
Yeah.
options as well.
That's good. That's good. That's professional.
Let me know. Filmatic podcast.
Lion
Yeah,
emoji.
dude, bet. Wink.
No, don't wink. Don't wink.
Okay,
I
just
think lion
lion.
emoji would work, but don't wink.
You're saying it like if we do say the wrong thing, he's gonna say no. Like if we say the right thing, he'll say yes. Dude, no,
Hey, dude,
do
he
not
liked
say
your
it like
post.
that.
He liked your post. We have more chat with this than we do with
Colton.
Noah Baumbach on the next episode.
We have more of a chance of getting Mark Illy than Colton.
Dude, I hope that's not true. I hope we actually have a chance of getting Colton. Why wouldn't we? He said he wants to be on it.
True,
You
that's a
send
good point. I did send it.
That's awesome. Okay.
It's been done. All right, guys.
So,
350. We beat the Shrek podcast.
did we actually?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
That's ridiculous. Wait, is this the
Actually-
longest episode ever then? How long is the Batman?
Let's check real quick. Let's waste more
That-
time checking that.
Dude, if this is the longest episode ever, I will literally lose my mind because it came out of nowhere, based on nothing.
The Batman's 345. We beat it.
Why?
Smoke and mirrors, guys. Welcome to the movie factory. Smoke and mirrors,
What the
guys. Welcome to the movie factory. Smoke and mirrors.
Can you just... It just like fading out. Unironically, can someone explain to me how Greenberg, the fucking Noah Baumbach episode, is the longest one yet, completely unintentionally?
Do you think we'll beat it with Madagascar? What if we don't even beat it with Madagascar?
No, literally, we might not anymore. And do you realize how short we made the Meyerowitz segment, bro?
Oh, it's criminal how short we
It's
made
like
it.
it's like 20 minutes.
If we gave it the same treatment, we would be at 4.5 hours easy.
Dude.
If
way
it wasn't
more.
1 a.m.,
Way
we
more.
probably would have.
Yeah, and we started the shit at 9.
Jesus Christ. The entire night is gone.
It's fucking.
It's like I'm in Berlin with the sun coming up, you know what I mean? Like when you did the Meet the Parents episode.
Oh yeah, no, literally. I thought you were at first making like a mixture of a reference to Night at the Museum when the sun comes up and Berlin,
Dude, that's a good one.
because the night is the caveman.
Maybe we should
as
end the
sun
episode.
rises.
Maybe we should end the episode freezing like the figures do. And no, okay.
No,
Sorry.
yeah,
no, I'm sorry. No, it's okay. It's a
You
failed
want to
bit.
get surreal with our outro bits now?
No, as if we've ever had an outro bit. The outro bit has always been saying something absurd and then pressing stop.
True. Like, hey, you guys want to freeze for the outro bit?
Fuck you. God damn it. Listen, I'll never forget the way you shot down my idea for Stiller Improv.
What was that?
This might have been just over Snapchat, but I was like, for some reason, we were sending voice messages. And I was like, dude, Stiller Improv, that'd be a hilarious episode. And you were like, no, it wouldn't.
Dude,
You're like, why would anyone ever listen to that?
I
Listen
definitely...
Listen to 2 hours of us doing improv about Ben Stiller.
Unironically, I stand by the fact that I don't think anyone would
No, I don't
watch
think
that.
it would be good either, but I think it would be funny because it's bad.
I mean, it would be funny. I just don't think we would be able to keep it going for
That's also
even a fraction of that. I mean, it is a hilarious concept, obviously, but it would probably be like us, like trying to come up with lines, like really slowly, and like we'd be like, a lot of it would just be us like muttering and be like, oh yeah, oh, and like I don't know how much of that. You know, it would be funny at first, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, you have a point. You have a point. Okay,
Listen,
well,
I just thought I was putting my 2 cents. I didn't know I had the power to just completely shut down that idea.
I mean, you shut it down for good reason. I'm just saying. I'm saying it was just funny how instant you were on that. Like normally, like I feel like we entertain each other's ideas, you know? Like, like normally we have the same idea, or we're like, yeah, dude, that's crazy, that's funny. You know what I mean? Like, this was like the one time I was like, dude, Stiller improv episode, and you were like, no.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
I will admit.
Yeah. Okay. Should we try to, leave some room for the future record breakers of the longest episode?
Yeah. Cut it before 4 hours.
Jesus. All right, guys.
It'll be a little shorter. Dude, watch.
It will be.
We cut out that segment about boop and boop, and then it instantly is less than the Batman.
No, you're right. We do have to cut some stuff out / censor. Oh boy. Okay. Well, guys, outro moment. I am plugging the Ben Stiller Kratos God of War ad. Dude, I thought we were going to have a conversation about God of War, but that never happened.
True, it's because I didn't ever play any of the games or watch that trailer.
I know, I was expecting me to mention it and then launch into a pitch for you to play the game live on the podcast.
We can do that on the next Stiller episode.
So true, so true. Do you have anything you want to plug? I have to ask. I just can't go an episode without saying that, or else.
Not that I can think of.
That's fair.
Maybe read the Walter Mitty script that I found earlier that has nothing to do with the actual movie.
And the Walter Mitty short story.
Also true. Just catch up on your Walter Mitty readings.
True. If there's one thing you could take from this episode, it's watch Walter Mitty. Really?
Dude, so true. I'm sure if you've watched the episode to this point, we didn't need to tell you that. Oh, also that, if you haven't seen it,
because we spoiled the entire
movie. Now we've just
movie.
said every single second of the movie. We literally went frame by frame scrubbing through the movie to tell you what happens. Still watch it though, because describing it doesn't do justice to the cinematography.
For sure. Okay, well, guys, we'll see you next time for the season finale of the Summer of Stiller. Hopefully Colton will be there. We'll see. Hope you guys keep your eye out for that promo. It's going to be great. And for the giveaway opportunity on Instagram to see Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, on December 20-something 1st, I think. All right. We're peeling out, guys. And remember...
Smoke and mirrors, guys. Welcome to the movie factory. Smoke and mirrors, guys. Welcome to the movie factory.